What's the deal? What's the deal? What's the deal? What's the deal? I told y'all what was gonna happen. Lex, I told y'all what was gonna happen, Lex. I told y'all what was gonna happen, Lex. Told y'all what was gonna happen. You know, this is the thing, man. Like, this is the thing. I get it. Most people
Oh,
just,
okay. There we go.
most people just want to argue with me. I don't know why they want to just argue with me. I don't even really comment on things that I don't have any information on. Like, there's a confusion. Me and Pete talked about this before. People think I like to talk. If you know me in real life, I don't like to talk. Ask my little brother. My little brother be the first one to tell you I don't always talk to him. My mother will tell you I don't always talk to her. My father will tell you I don't always talk to him. I'll ask the questions to things that I need to know. I don't really got much to say, Pete. Now, if you somebody I feel like I can get information from, I'll ask you the questions and talk to you. If you're somebody I'm trying to pass information to, I'm gonna talk to you. But for the most part, I don't got nothing to say. I seen this situation happening with ASAP Relly, and he is on that stand telling on Rocky, saying all of this and that. And somebody hit me on Twitter and said, "Glasses, man, why do they keep judging these rappers like they from the streets?" And I keep telling people, this is after years and years of studying that hip hop is street urban culture personified through those elements. So when y'all hear the brothers from New York, you know what I mean? Shout out to every one of them brothers that pioneered this hip hop thing, you know what I mean? And saved these ghetto kids that they did, you know what I mean? Shout out to New York for figuring out this very artistic approach and something that was monetizable. You feel me? In a business form. So minus the money, but just even a smarter way to construct your energy. Because while they was figuring out artistically how to construct the street urban energy, you know, we was defining our own and gang banging, and it led to us fighting and different things. Like fighting ain't a part of the culture, but it's just kind of what happens as you start to tribe up. But shout out to them brothers from New York for giving us this thing. You know what I'm saying? It saved my life. I can honestly say it saved my life. So the time that I put in to learn what's happening is really homage to something that genuinely saved my life. That's it. It wasn't something I really had to work hard on. So when you see Relly up there telling, shout out to ASAP Relly up there telling.
Oh, that shit is crazy.
You know what I mean? Shout out to ASAP Relly. And shout out to all of them little goofballs that came from the blog era that think that's cool because they keep trying to disassociate this hip hop thing from its street roots. From these street roots. You cannot separate hip hop from the street. They go hand in hand.
Is this about, real quick, just so I'm caught up, this is in reference to the shooting of the girl's foot? He was in the car or something like that?
No, that was another thing.
Okay. What's this about?
Nah.
Go ahead.
Two homies post a link up and just get a fair one on, and one nigga show up with a motherfucking starter pistol, and then you know what I'm saying, and then fucking I'm saying flashes the shit, does a flash dance, you know what I'm saying, and then fuck around and the dude get a scrape knuckle and try to cash out right now on the dude, and you know what I'm saying, and do some sucker shit and get on the stand on this man. And fucking and just reenacted the whole shit on the stand. Like that shit is just crazy, man. Like shit is out of here now, man. Word.
This is a civil suit?
No, this is a criminal suit.
I thought you said sue somebody.
No, he's trying to.
That's
he's gonna sue him. That's what. That's why he's doing this shit for. So it's like he gotta go through the criminal stages first to end up. You know what I'm saying, to go over to the civil shit then. But some sucker shit though, man. Sure. Some straight sucker shit. Word.
No Ceilings Live, the lunch hour, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, right here, noon Pacific Standard Time. Digital Soapbox. Click that thumbs up button. Let everybody know you in the house on YouTube. You feel me? If you on Twitter, retweet this link. Tell everybody we on ASAP Rally Ass. If you on Facebook, go on and share this. Like it and share it. Tell them we on ASAP Rally Ass. We back on Gunna Ass.
Mm-hmm.
All these old buster ass niggas. Forgive me, these busters. You know what I mean? And we also on this really dominant presence in these hip-hop conversations as well, because it's a lot of the people misleading. It's a lot of controllers in the space misleading people and confusing them. You know what I mean? And that's a big thing that's happening. But again, this is No Ceilings Live, the lunch hour, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at noon Pacific Standard Time, right here on Digital Soapbox. Click that thumbs up button right there on that YouTube. Share it if you on retweet it if you on X. Share it if you on Facebook. We do this right here to support the No Ceilings podcast. This is coming to the end of our 4th season, and looks like we're going to be in the 5th season. Where we're going to really.
How the hell are we still in the 4th season?
It ain't
for like over 5.5 years. When's it end?
No, this is like 46 episodes. Yesterday we dropped the 46th episode of season 4.
Okay.
Nice.
So we have 6 more to turn in.
Got you.
There's 52 seasons in the episode, but we did so many extra episodes. It's to the point where people feel like I would be a better podcaster than I was a rapper, and that could never happen. Shout out to Joe Budden, shout out to homies.
No.
That's not,
and that's not even because you are a good rapper.
Yeah. Like, I am a fantastic rapper, and I'm hell-bent on proving it this year, so we could just get that out the way. I'm not leaving this thing. No stone will be left unturned. I'm going to burn this shit down before I leave it, and I'm not leaving it. I fell in love with it, so I'm staying, so y'all stuck with me. I don't give a fuck. I'll be 60 kicking this shit, this fly ass shit. Shout out to, again, we do this stream to support the No Ceilings podcast. It's released every Tuesday. We just dropped a fresh episode, Conversations about Mexicans using the N-word.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a really great episode with my homeboy Josh from Detroit. Got a great podcast called Intellectually Petty Radio. He always used to be on my ass because I explained to him my Mexican partners, we call each other the N-word. They my partners since the Sandbox. And he was on my ass. So again, listen to it with an open mind. I'm not saying you should let your Mexican partners do that, but my Mexican partners, them my niggas. So check it out.
I feel like
here below.
I feel like I should have been there for that one right there. They got a problem with the Puerto Ricans. They got a problem with the Puerto Ricans.
Yeah, we're gonna double back. We're gonna double back. We're gonna double back for it. So
I think we gotta do a 3-part series or something like that, because I wanted to get any means
or trash, or trash
in on that too. Yeah.
So for the whole Black History Month, we got Pete all the way in Black Topics, so Pete could just laugh and shit at the madness that's happening and give his very American perspective.
I wanted to write a thesis paper on a topic of sorts, or just like an extensive article.
I like
it. It really was because Malcolm interrupts me so goddamn frequently that I can't ever get through a paragraph.
That's crazy.
I get bogged down in so much linguistic minutia that I've never actually gotten to a point on a topic in 15 years.
You should. We're gonna put it on the No Ceilings website so people can read it. Again, we do this No Ceilings lunch hour stream to support the No Ceilings podcast. We just dropped a fresh episode, Conversations about Mexicans using the N-word. Look below. It's a link in the description. Click it. Listen to it on Apple Podcasts, iHeart Podcasts, and anywhere you get your podcast. The No Ceilings podcast, executive produced by Charlamagne the God, Black Effect Podcast Network, and iHeart. And here we go. Shout out to Fats. Shout out to Lex. Lex was here early. My boy Lex. Queen is in a house. What's going on, New York?
Yeah.
Thank you for moderating. What happened is ASAP Rally told, and we finna talk about what's wrong with these goofballs, where the disconnect is happening. Shout out to Drake Loss, because the culture does always win. Rough End TV. Shout out to Queen Lady Act. Thank you, B, for being here. Hassan, what's going on? Ty, what's up? Ty got that dot still. Ty, fix your stuff. Revenge, my boy, what's happening? Revenge always with the kickback. Amir, Queen, everybody in the house. Godfather, what's going on? Shout out to y'all. V, what's the deal? Craze, what's up? Craze, we need to get you on this back end. Make sure you get your stuff set up.
Is today the 29th or the 30th?
Today's the 29th.
29th. Okay.
29th.
We got to shoot an early happy birthday to Jobs. He says his birthday's the 30th, right? But we can't make it because we got a parade conflict.
We do.
But I want to wish him the best.
And my niece's birthday on the 30th. So happy birthday to my niece.
My pop's birthday was yesterday. Was 27th, excuse me. 27th. Monday.
Pops, I say happy C-Day. Yes, sir.
Big week. Happy ones all around.
My sister's birthday was the 25th. Yeah. I think I'm done with birthdays for a minute now.
Shout out to V. Glasses, can we get a political Everybody Gotta Go part 2? Everybody gotta go. Ugh. That's a tough one, man. Mac
doesn't like political podcasts. We got to get really painted into a cul-de-sac for that to happen.
I don't even know how to. The only way I would do a politic conversation if I sat down with a bunch of gang members. Shout out to Amir K, who makes a great point, and shout out to Mr. Green. Amir, this is true. For some reason, this January been long as hell.
Yeah.
And it's been a long January. Shit, it felt like it been 60 days. But I'm grateful to be here all of these days, and we up in here. So I'll tell you what's wrong. We talked about this, right? You cannot disconnect hip-hop from the streets. It's not evolving if you do. It is not hip-hop. That's why when these situations happen, everybody in hip-hop or that's of said culture, don't matter which specific ghetto you from, they are in dismay. They are confused. They don't get it. We're looking at ASAP Rally right now like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Minus all of the extra stuff that's going on. But what are you doing? What's happening? Same thing with Gunna. And I see what people are saying. You know what I mean? With Gunna's case, right? They like, well, Glasses, his statement couldn't be used as a way to incriminate, or his statement couldn't be used in a court of law against Thug. If I tell somebody you did something, even if they don't use it in a court of law, it's still me telling. It's still me telling. Y'all don't get that. Y'all keep, and I feel bad, and that's how I'm starting to realize people don't understand what street urban culture is. Because I every day I get a new comment on Instagram, 5 comments, somebody argue with me. Well, if you saying this person because they're not street, then what about? And I'm like, I didn't say
I hate that
to be street.
I think maybe a better line of disassociation isn't between street and hip hop, but between like street and criminality. Because like, what's the difference between a street code and a criminal code? Can you be street without being engaged in the criminal code?
You can be everybody that grew up in said culture are not a criminal, but they also know that they can't tell in situations. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're involved in a crime. Now listen, if you grow up in the ghetto as Trap, and you see some weird older man, sexually violating some 14-year-old kid or 14-year-old girl, nobody's gonna call you a snitch if you call the police on them.
No.
Yeah, no, for sure.
None of us. Even as a gang member, right? Even as a gang member, nobody would look at me crazy if I called the police. They'd be like, why you didn't do nothing to him? They're gonna say, why you didn't do nothing to him? That's the thing that's the confusion. The confusion is you are expected to deal with justice when you grow up in this culture. If you see some out of place shit happening, your job, Pete, is to rectify it yourself. That's your job. Rectify it yourself. Fix it. Don't ask for the white police officer to come down and fix the problem. Fix it. If you see you will get hell if you seen somebody, little sister, being sexually assaulted by some older man and you didn't do nothing.
You ain't doing nothing about it. Now, you violating right there, though. You better do something.
And if you are 20 and you scared of this person and you call the police, nobody gonna call you a snitch. So again, I see the narratives that be shaping with certain people who have platforms. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of people trapped, and this is why I be on you, Lex, all of us, about really taking this gatekeeper thing serious. Because if we don't, we're gonna have people misleading other people about what we believe in. That's why I'm so stringent about what hip hop is. You know what I mean? I wasn't like this, and I had made millions of dollars doing this. It cost me more money to do what I'm doing than I make money. It cost me more relationships to do what I'm doing. Feel me? Then if I didn't say half of this stuff, I could go get a song. Like if I don't say this about Drake, if I don't do this, I can get a song with these people, and that's worth money. But because I live by this standard of existing, I need to be able to look at myself in the mirror. I don't care if I got $100 or 100,000. Don't get me wrong. I like the 100,000, but look, you just can't do anything for no money. I got to be able to look in the mirror. That's why these rich people be killing themselves. You know what I mean? Y'all never notice all these people. Shout out to Diddy. Diddy is my man. I feel bad for him. He going through a lot. Again, the way he was living was a standard of existing for people in the entertainment business. Let's be honest. They was all having these parties. They was all sleeping with the girls. Yeah, they bought vagina. Yeah, they used to do drugs. That's their thing. That was the standard. You wake up 30 years later, now everybody want to get some moral, and they don't even want to get no morals trapped. They just want to act like they got morals. They just want other people to look like they got morals. I swear,
I don't do that.
They don't really even, but they would go to this party right now. Who don't want to go to a party where all the vaginas paid for and it's free?
Everybody been to the party, but they wasn't there after a certain time, though. You don't realize that? They all been to Diddy parties, but we ain't go. I ain't never seen none of that shit going on, you lying motherfuckers.
I've been in, I never saw it, but I don't think
you lying motherfucker.
Trust me, if I would have went, I would have participated. So let's just be honest. I'm gonna keep it a bean with you.
This shit sound like a good time. It sounds like a good time.
I'm not that kind of person, Trap. If I would have went, and I got me some girls, and it was pop, I'd have told y'all. I'd have been like, nah, man, that shit was crack. I'm not one of these dudes. I swear to God, if I went to a puff party and it was like 3 girls wanted to take me down, I'm going down. Sure. And I told you about it.
I mean, you've been to those type of things, like Trap, like you can't, like we were saying, like way back. You kind of know how it goes. Like you started in general speak, like it's true in like a lot of the big cities. It's true down here in Miami. It's true in LA. I'm sure.
Yeah.
You start at the club, you got general pop. Then badder bitches get to the tables. Then of the tables, the baddest bitches get to the cars. Then those bad bitches get to the house. Then in the house, the baddest bitches get to the back room. And then there's a security guard at the end of the hall. So you got people drinking cocktails at the kitchen in the living room area. And then you got this long hallway with 4 bedrooms and no one can get over there.
They not
exactly. Hear about that Bel Air Road.
I've been at a few of those things where I'm like, I went down some stairs looking for a bathroom. It's 3 dudes in black suits, about 300 a piece, go, and there's 3 bedrooms over their shoulder.
You got the wrong credential. You can't come on this side right here.
Bathrooms upstairs, son.
I almost want to cuss Puff out for me not being at that part of it. Wait a minute, you mean it was 3 and 4 girls that would have
said cool enough at the
same time?
Somebody said that shit. Somebody said, Joe, hold on. When I heard it was the parties going on, I looked at myself like, hold on, I ain't get invited.
Dave
What the fuck is wrong with me?
Dave Chappelle said
that was a great speech.
That must be honest.
Facts though.
He said Carl Winslow got there.
Yeah, like
Winslow got there. I couldn't get there. What the fuck?
So I'm not lying to you. I'm not one of those guys that feel like, oh, you know what? Like, yeah, if I would have went and I had a great experience, I would have told you I don't care what the law is saying. I'm not hiding nothing. If I did it, I did it. If I saw Stunner doing some out of pocket shit I'd have told y'all. If I saw Lil Wayne doing some out of pocket shit, I'd have told you. I'd be like, man, Lil Wayne was over there. No, I never saw it. So if all this out of pocket shit is happening, I'm almost disrespected. I like girls. Now, look, if it's a bunch of men, I understand why you didn't invite me. I get it.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
I understand. But puff parties, I would have liked to have been at a freak off. Wait a minute.
Yeah,
Long as no guy is going to violate me, Puff
contest.
could have watched me.
Listen,
Puff could have watched me.
I'm there.
Puff, he could have hired me
That's
for
why
Cassie.
I don't
See, he hired
understand
the wrong people for Cassie. He could have hired me for Cassie at that time. Prime glasses for Cassie. I'd have gave her the greatest experience of her life.
Bad lady.
Yeah.
Bad lady
What?
right there. Bad
Wait,
lady.
you got a couple racks for me to knock Cassie down? Y'all finna
knocking her
flip
brains
upside
loose.
down. I'm gonna knock the bottom out of her motherfucking ass for this money.
We're gonna go double platinum with these beats.
And take some of these moves. You hold up, Puff. Give me a beat in 2000.
What? That's it. I'm knocking her
I'll do it
brains
for you
loose,
every
dude.
month for her. I got you.
Man,
As long as you
wonder
don't
if
try
he
to
had-
join in, we have a problem. But I'd be honest. Like, I wouldn't even be offended. I'd be like, nah, bro, I don't really get down like that. But
You think
Puff
he had
could have took
assless
notes.
shiny suits at
Yeah,
the
Puff
house?
could have took notes.
Nah, the chasing with the baby oil. They putting the baby oil, making it so shiny like that.
Oh yeah, I don't know if you got like
That's
a
what it was.
cowboy
Ain't no
assless
shiny
chaps.
suits.
If you had
Nah,
assless glitter
nah.
suits.
Man, listen, Puff
Let me
could
get
have took
Son a
notes.
drink real quick.
Shout out to everybody that's saying I'm wild because Puff could have took notes. Puff could watch a real player do this thing. I ain't tripping. I'll put on the show. You can watch how Puff could take notes.
Puff's
Puff
been
could
taking
take
notes
notes.
for 30 years.
Yeah, he could take notes and get some tips.
He's been doing polling
Pause.
and general research observations for 30 years. Still can't get it right. It's unbelievable.
So
Those who can't play coach. Those who can't play coach.
So what I'm saying is, again, it's this weird element where there's a
What I say,
confusion.
Lex?
Pete, watch him out. Fact. There's a weird element of like you trying to separate hip hop from the streets. You cannot. They don't go exclusive. Shout out to Amir who said a point. He felt like hip hop is getting away from the streets. It's not. What you looking at is more people monetize the hip hop space. That don't make them hip hop. I told y'all this is the 65th live stream. We started this August 28th, 2024. That was the first time we did it, Pete. It's been 4 months. I told y'all then.
Beating.
I said, y'all thought I was talking crazy. I explained to y'all why Drake wasn't hip hop. That don't mean he not talented. I explained to y'all why Ak is not hip hop. That don't mean he not talented. I explained to y'all. Now I got to talk to Adam, but Adam or Vlad, why they're not. It's not because that they are white people or they are untalented, right? Or blah, blah, blah. It's because they are not of the ilk culturally.
The cloth.
They not of the cloth.
And that's
They're
it.
not. And what happens is Ak built his whole stage, you know what I mean, off of hip hop, off of really incredible investigative journalism with a twist of flavor because he's a brother still. Again, he built it off the war in Chirac, bro. That's like Pulitzer Prize shit. Don't get it confused because he's a brother from Jamaica. That's why his platform is what it is today. He single-handedly, for the most part, brought us a phenomenon culturally out of Chicago when nobody else did. Y'all got to understand how powerful that is to, like, if I discovered the G-Funk movement is happening and then it went national, I go national with it. Well, that's the same thing for Ak and Drill. He went national with something. I've been following Ak since he was like less than 10,000 followers, bro. When he used to get these, I'm like, all these stories about these people in Chicago, they like mystical people. You know what I mean? You see this stuff, but again, that don't make him a part of this culture. And see, Sherry, this is my problem. Academics is not our brother. He's made a mockery of our culture. He ain't make a mockery of our culture, Sherry, because he is, again, y'all got to stop saying our culture because this is where it get confused. This is where it keep getting confused at. That's the problem. That is a brother. It's not about if he is a Black American, which that don't even make sense. If he's American, he's a brother. That's a Jamaican man. That's a brother. Drake is a brother. They are not of this culture. This is a specific culture. There's other black people in America that's not a part of this culture. And if the same thing happened to them, they would do the same thing that A$AP Rocky is doing. The difference is when Drake told the police, when them people robbed him and he gave them the information and they robbed him for his watch, none of us looked at Drake like a snitch because we know goddamn well he's not like this. This is the kid that had the show on Nickelodeon. If you rob, what's the man that be talking? Everybody think he crazy, but he hella slick and smart.
Talking about Charleston White?
No.
Charleston White?
That's what I was thinking of too. That's funny.
I'm about to say, I thought you were about to say him though.
What's the brother? Simone. He was on the Simone show.
I don't know.
You know what I'm talking about?
What?
Everybody think he crazy all the time. He was talking about.
That's why I thought you were talking about him.
No, the dude.
I don't know.
He was on a Nickelodeon show.
You talking about Orlando Brown?
There you go, Orlando Brown. Revenge got it. My man, Revenge. There, yes, Orlando Brown.
Yeah.
If you rob Orlando Brown, Orlando Brown is supposed to call the damn police on you. Orlando Brown is a Nickelodeon kid. Now, that's not to say where I'm telling you, you're not supposed to even do that to him.
Yeah.
Shout out to Teezy who got it. Diggy Simmons is not a gangster, but he is of the culture. Diggy Simmons ain't grew up poor, none of that. King is not no poor ghetto kid. T.I. son, but he ain't telling the damn police because he know the rules. Shout out to Sherry.
Is that true?
Stop claiming him. He would never claim us. He's not us. Please stop. Sherry, that's not what us. Sherry, everybody is not us. I don't know what us you talking about.
Not like us.
You talking about. That is our brother. That is a black man. That's a brother.
That's you just say he's not hip hop.
We're telling you he's not of this culture. Now you could say he's not American. That's fine. I'm saying minus American, he is not our brother in this cultural thing. Trap is my brother in this cultural thing through different levels. We live by the same standards. Sherry, there's too many black people in America that don't live by the standard. This is not a black American culture. Not snitching is not a black American thing, which I hate saying that. It's not a black person thing, Sherry. Not snitching is a hip hop thing. That's a street urban thing. It is not nothing about, is nothing, Sherry, about being black. Black people are supposed to call the police when people wrong them. That's the problem now. It's too many black people listening to hip hop thinking like you supposed to live this way. No, you not. That's why you find yourself in these situations and you don't know what the hell to do.
See, Amir is going in the direction that I was about to go in. This is a generational thing, no glasses.
But it's not a generational thing.
The snitching part is.
No, it's not.
Yes.
Y'all keep acting like kids is like, you know what, you can snitch now. No, they don't. Y'all not finna make my young homies rats. They not rats neither. They don't think that's cool neither.
But it's happening way more.
No, it's just happening on Twitter and YouTube. And
it was happening back then.
It was happening then.
So it was happening
like
then. So you can't.
When?
I mean, not in hip hop, but just in the street culture, motherfuckers been telling though. We ain't gonna do that though. We can't put on this generation like that.
Yeah.
They you know what they're doing though? They're not penalizing, they're not looking at them dudes that's doing this shit as being wrong for doing it. They're finding some type of shit like,
it's a three-phase process.
Like the shit.
Like you had an era where they didn't do it, then an era where they did it and it was frowned upon, and that yielded an era where it's not quite so frowned upon.
But this is not true. This is not true, Pete, and this is the problem. This is why people keep saying it. That's not true. What you have now is a bunch of people that are not of street urban ilk that you have access to. See, back in the day, you didn't have access to that. Like the average person that came from hip hop didn't have access to the average person.
Hip hop,
huh?
I'm not talking about hip hop.
Well, people been snitching for years then.
Yeah,
people been snitching each other since the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. It ain't more now.
That's tracked. It is more now, for sure. It is absolutely more now because it tracks parallel with the rampant increase in sentencing minimums. That's a fact.
Yeah, but I think, okay, it's more people, so that could possibly be true.
It's not that there's more people. There's more at stake.
But even that, it's not because there's a pass on it. there's still culturally not a pass on it.
I think there's becoming more of a pass on it.
No, it's not. Never was. It never was. It's not. This is the confusion. People keep thinking that 6ix9ine is getting a pass for telling. He's not. That's why he's in trouble now. The only people that he matters to are people who are not of this culture. The average everyday American Pete don't care if you told. They never care.
The average American doesn't care if you told in life, but the average consumer cares if you told.
But why would a consumer care if you tell if you not culturally?
That's the whole paradox of the hip hop broad consumer relationship in a nutshell.
Yeah, but that don't make sense, Pete.
It doesn't make sense. That's why it's a paradox.
But even the concept of it being a paradox, Pete, is still disingenuous to say it's okay now. It's not. It never was okay. It's not okay today. Shout out to Revenge, who makes a good point. He said, I think it's situational for these kids. 69 didn't get a second chance, but Gunna did. They are adding situation. He didn't get a second chance.
He didn't seem real ostracized to me.
What do you mean? No fucking urban rapper that's of any stature will work with him. Don't confuse that he comes home and has less numbers than he had before. This is the problem. The culture still ostracizes them. Who doesn't? Right now, Roddy Ricch did a song with him. It looked crazy. Everybody's talking about in the street. It looked crazy. But look where his social currency is going.
You did?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
His
What
social
happened?
currency is going. Look where his social currency is at. Look where his cultural cash is at. It is not cool, Pete. And that's the problem that people keep saying it's not situational.
I'm not saying it's affirmatively cool. Like my spectrum, and usually people go 0 to 10. I'm always -10 to +10.
Yeah,
that's how I'm not saying it went from negatives to positives. I'm saying it went from -10 to like -3.
I don't even think it's -3. What would have happened? Sammy the Bull Gravano told in the 90s.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying there's 3 tiers of the time frame of the evolution of the principle of acceptance.
But there is no principle of it. Listen, so if we're talking about culturally, shout out to Todd who's saying you're right. But I'm gonna tell you where Todd has us confused. You keep talking about in mainstream because you're not talking about with us. Because me and
I'm talking about. I'm basing my opinions from my Arizona people and the way that those guys have defined the rampant change of how things are going on in Phoenix. That's what I'm really speaking from.
Okay,
I'm not talking about
people in Arizona start accepting snitches. We wouldn't mess with people from Arizona.
I'm not saying they're accepting them. I'm saying it's become less of a scarlet letter and so rampant that it's priced in like a new tax.
But even that, Pete, like this is the problem. There's this weird rhetoric happening on social media. Snitching is accepted now. It's not. The only people who accept snitching is people who never cared about people being snitches in the first place. The average mainstream America would tell on everybody at their job. Sure. They would tell if somebody stole a stapler, they been rats. They tell all the time.
It's not accepted, it's encouraged. You're doing your civic duty. That would be on the positive side of 0.
No, on the side of snitching. Not necessarily you saw something happening, but you're a part of something that's wrong, and then you tell on the person. Right, you step your time clock late.
In the square world, that is your civic duty. That's like contrition and your civic duty.
No, I'm saying if you're doing the same thing.
That's what I'm saying. That would be the contrition portion.
Yes. Okay. So the contrition portion, right? That's the only place it's accepted. It ain't never gonna be accepted where me and Trap from. Oh no,
I'm not saying accepted. I'm just saying less of a scarlet letter.
He's saying it's looked upon. It's not looked upon as harshly as it once was. So,
of course,
so now people. No, I think it is though. I think it is. Like you said though. Like you said, the only ones who ain't looking at it like that was the ones who ain't never look at it like it's being. You know what I'm saying? Something bad to do. The ones that would tell also. You know what I'm saying? That's what that shit basically is.
Here's a perfect example. If they tell it's on at your job or whatever, act snitched on LeBron, that's not no street shit. Nobody looked at him crazy. First off, that's just totally different than snitching. I don't even. That's some unmasked.
That's whole shit. That's whole shit. That's whole shit right there.
Okay, so and this is the problem, Todd, and This is the most confusing thing. And shout out to Todd from this statement because this is important. Glasses, either you ain't making sense or I'm lost, bro. Drake and Kendrick just had a full-blown battle, snitching on one another, and the culture loved it. This is why sometimes you got to just be a fan of hip-hop and stop thinking you understand some of these terminologies. Because nobody
that's not criminal snitching.
Exactly. Nobody who is from any street level sees that as snitching. But this is the entitlement, Pete, I've been telling you with hip-hop. Yeah. Where people who consume hip-hop think they are now of said culture. They don't know. Like Todd doesn't know. He doesn't know. He like, well, if you did, he don't know. But Todd, stay out of it.
Yeah. It's like Kobe saying Shaq cheated on his wife or something. It's not, I swear to tell the whole truth. It's just being
a bitch.
Gossip filled. Yeah.
It's just Kobe is being a bitch.
Yeah.
Straight up. It's some bitch ass shit. It's some bitch ass shit.
Dan, yeah, pedophilia is a crime, but you have to say it happened to Ashley on June 3rd, 2013, not just he does it sometimes.
That's not how it works, Todd. That's not how it works, right? But it's hard to explain this because it's a nuanced thing, dog. You're trying to express something that took years to understand. Look at it. This is snitching. Snitching is when I commit a crime, right? And then I tell on someone else's crime so I don't have to be accountable for my crime. Todd?
Yeah. Same with Dan. I think with Dan, we're not cherry picking who's doing the talking. We're cherry picking what the talking really means.
Yes. Y'all don't get it because y'all keep trying to conflate ideas and it's because you're not of said culture. That's why sometimes you just gotta listen. You gotta listen. You gotta stop thinking because you heard some songs, you watch movies, you know what's going on. I'm giving you something that's concrete. If you commit a crime and then you tell on someone else's crime to not be held accountable for your crime, that's snitching. That is the thing you take as snitching. If anybody else says anything else to you, they lying.
That's it.
It don't matter if you've been to the feds. I'm telling you what it is. I don't give it. My mother died in the feds. That was her third term in the feds. That don't matter. Shout out to non-hip hop than it is, but that's not a balance. That's a fan, and that's what's wrong. Like Ak is a fan of hip hop. He is not hip hop. That's what y'all got to separate. Y'all got to stop thinking because somebody uses the N-word and they talk to you about hip hop, that's hip hop. That's what y'all got wrong.
Skip reports on basketball every day right there. He ain't no basketball player. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. You could be a sports analyst and not be a sports player. So, like, come on. You can't do that right there, man.
Shout out to Todd. I did 11 years in prison, bro. I know how this works. I'm saying y'all picking and choosing, bro. That's ridiculous. Roddy working with Gunna, all you had to say was Roddy, look at his career. We don't think Roddy should be working with no fucking Gunna. That's what everybody's saying in the streets. Why the fuck would you work with this rat? That's why niggas feel some kind of way, because he working with a rat.
That was like what I was saying, insofar as the ostracization level being diminished to some degree. Like, I'm not supporting or denouncing Roddy. He can do whatever the hell he wants to do. I'm just saying it's illustrative. And I think it really comes down to, like, the point I was making earlier, is when something becomes more pervasive, you kind of have it. I'd say you have no choice but to accept it, but it becomes harder to then appropriately police consequences to expanding numbers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but again, this is the confusing part of it all. People keep thinking because you listen to hip hop, you're hip hop. No, you're not. I eat Mexican food. I'm not Mexican. I speak Spanish. I'm not Mexican. Just because you consume culture from somebody don't make you the damn culture. That's the biggest problem. The biggest problem is we keep thinking hip hop is this bunch of people buying millions and millions of records and they hip hop. No, they not. No, they not. Just because you report on hip hop mean you are hip hop. That's the biggest problem. Just because you report on hip hop don't make you hip hop. That's what's wrong. That's what's wrong.
Me, Stephen A. Smith's not an NBA player?
No, he's not. He's not. But Charles Barkley is. Shaq was. Kenny Smith was. But Ernie, nah.
That's why those guys just crack jokes. They don't really report.
Ernie, and it don't mean Ernie don't know nothing about basketball. It don't mean Ernie don't know. It don't mean Act don't know nothing about hip hop. It just means that his perception is based from an outsider's looking in. He's giving you all, and that's why he's so popular. Because
what's you talking about? I don't follow celebrity news worth a shit. Is Carson Daly was not because he was reporting because he had hip hop people on like Total Request or something. I didn't know what he meant by it. I thought it was snitching. I'm still like the time sequence in my brain and the comments and what's happening with the conversation is all like colliding.
No. The problem is we keep thinking everybody's hip hop. One, we keep thinking everybody's black is hip hop, especially if they use the N-word. Right? That's the first thing. Just because you use the N-word and you are black, don't mean you are hip hop. You don't understand what's happening. You could have a closer understanding than some other people, but that don't mean you hip hop. So when y'all telling me, Pete, like when you saying right now, I'm telling you right now, what you saying is a motherfucking lie. Not talking shit to you. I'm saying what you're saying is fucking 117% incorrect. Trap will tell you if your rat ass come on the block, it's a problem right there. The same way it was the whole time. Because the culture is the same. It ain't changed even a half a bit. Do mainstream people accept it? Yes. And I don't even think they accept it. I don't think they accept it. Shout out to my brother Mook, West LA Mook, saying fuck the BS.
That Mook?
Dumbass position. That's my man Mook. Mook's supposed to be up here. I hate when Mook.
Get Mook in life. Send Mook. Like Mook.
Mook's supposed to fucking walk in the door. Fucking Mook. But the streets don't put us in a dumb position. Dumb decisions put you in a dumbass position. We don't got to blame nobody for being in the positions we are. We make decisions, and the decisions put us in the position. Listen, hanging out thugging, you don't got to thug. You don't have to. I understand why you do, but then you also got to be as accountable for taking that decision.
It's the same. It's like the streets are just inanimate concrete. It's like saying guns don't shoot people, people shoot people.
Here you go. Shout out to Forrest. I don't know how to pronounce that. Bun B snitched on a home invasion suspect. Was he wrong? Dude got 40 years. Bun B didn't commit no damn crime.
Bun B went busting at that nigga. What you talking about?
He didn't commit a crime. Listen, I keep telling y'all this. I'm giving you something that is
I don't see why it's so hard to comprehend.
Solid.
Understand.
Snitching is when you commit a crime. So you have to commit a crime first. You have to commit a crime first, or you have to be into the life of crime first. You have to be a criminal, right? You have to commit a crime. And then you tell on someone else to not be held accountable for your own crime.
Yeah. Obviously, this is not a mystery. Clearly, over the course of the past 30 years, probably, the expression telling lost its context in the appropriate sense of this particular
because discussion. Civilians got their fucking hands on it because street urban culture artistic merit, feel me? And here they go. I'm tired of y'all trying to tell me. Stop telling me, Dan. I'm telling you. Y'all get on this motherfucker. Stop arguing with me. Listen to what I'm telling you. Take this shit as law. I don't care if you went to the feds. I'm telling y'all are the problems when y'all get up here and be saying some dumb shit. What I'm saying is provable, and this is what's going to happen. Y'all keep talking about shit just causing chaos and confusion, and that's the problem in the space. That's why this motherfucking shit need me. I can't go do nothing else because y'all motherfuckers fucking it up. Y'all sitting around this motherfucker, you talking shit. Is Roddy doing a song with Gunna snitching? No.
No.
That's not snitching. But I don't want no nigga that claim the streets doing something to help a rat. That's what you supposed to be.
That's a fact. You empowering a rat. You wrong for that. That's wrong.
You don't
them niggas
do
die
that.
breathing.
And again, it's up to us to tell him, hey, bro, don't do that. That ain't cool. Don't fuck with that rat. I don't give a fuck what you personally think. This is about the movement of people. We do not want to advocate for nobody that was able to benefit off the crimes. And then one day when it was time to take accountability, decided that, oh, I don't want to take account. But you was off this label where this man making you millions of dollars. Whatever they was doing, it gave what you was talking about, the street credit and credence to where it made sense. People believe Gunna was on that time because of the movement of YSL and everything that Thug and them is doing. But you get in the court, and when it's time to actually be accountable for the shit you being benefited for, nobody bought your raps because we thought you was tight, nigga. We buy your raps because we thought you was real. Now, just because the main street is popular and they getting you and they arguing with you and everybody like, oh, you know, they can't use his statement in court. It's telling still.
If you give the anything of law, dealing with law, any type of fuel to get anybody locked up. So him saying right there, admitting to his wrongdoings that was involving them other people right there. You know what I'm saying? They could use that right there. Yo, listen, he already admitted to doing this shit right here for the same charges we charge him for. You know what I'm saying? It looked upon like that. The jury could look at this. The jury could look at the shit like that. Well, this co-defendant's already copped out, then hey, let's say they ain't do it.
It don't matter. A jury gonna hear what you're doing, even if nobody, the judge don't let them. The jury hears it. So it don't matter his pride. Why would you say that? Why would you say, hey, crimes happened and I didn't know they was happening, inadvertently I funded? Why would you say that? Listen, Queen, my passion comes from the fact that I know. That's why I'm not letting Dan or none of these Todd or none of the homies talk to me and tell me something different. I'm telling them something. And I'm tired of acting like y'all know something. I listen to y'all and I let y'all tell me certain things. Then I'm going to really tell y'all what it is. When it comes to shit that I know, like the back of my fucking hand. I know this. I studied this. I don't just live it. I know it. There's certain things I don't know, certain things I study, certain things I live. This is one of those things I study and I live.
See, Mook, we've talked about that offline. That, you know, that's its own discussion, separate and adjacent to this one.
See, but the difference is that
problem, Mook. This is the problem. You can't sit up for nobody else's crime, Mook. They not putting you in jail for no crime. You didn't commit no crime. You didn't commit no crime. You didn't commit no crime. If you didn't commit a crime, you wouldn't be snitching. If somebody did some shit and you had nothing to do with that shit and you be like, nah, that was that nigga. That's not telling. We're not saying that's telling. Again, y'all got to back up. Because I see what's going wrong, bro. No Ceilings Live lunch hour every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at noon, Pacific Standard Time. Right here, Digital Soapbox. Click that thumbs up. Let everybody know you in the house. If you on Twitter, retweet this on X. If you on Facebook, thumbs up it, share it. The lunch box is open if y'all want to buy us lunch. Let's back up. Let's back up. I see what's wrong. Let me start again. Here is your motherfucking thing of snitching. Snitching is when you commit a crime, a person commits a crime, but he tells on someone else's crime, so he doesn't have to be accountable for his own crime. Snitching is about accountability, which accountability is the cornerstone of masculinity.
So that's.
But to what he's saying, hold on real quick. To what he's saying though, right there, I know people who did sit up. You know what I'm saying? Who sat up for somebody else's crime. You know what I'm saying? They knew who did the crime, and they didn't. You know what I'm saying? They didn't say, yo, listen, it wasn't me, it was him. No, this, that, this. They sat up there. They went in front of the court. I'm saying the court of law, and had the court of law. They had. You know what I'm saying? He knew he ain't do it, but he knew who did it too. But he wasn't gonna go, yo, listen, it wasn't me, it was this person. No, you got to. Yo, listen, because he was in the streets. He was in the streets already, though. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I
If you
know somebody
are
who set up
okay,
like that, though.
I'm glad you broke that down. If I'm on timing, right? I'm on guns. I'm busting guns. I'm doing my thing. And my homie busting guns and doing this thing. And they think I committed a crime. Right? And they arrest me. Their job is to prove I don't care who I know did the crime.
Exactly.
Their job is to prove. My job is to defend that I didn't do the crime. My job ain't to help them do their fucking job.
And real quick on Mook's next comment, I'm talking about I might have done other crimes, but this crime I'm sitting up for, etc. Not to like him, but like just to dot it. That's the root of the RICO principle, is using a large group of people to like obscure the specificity of tying an individual to an individual crime. So like kind of running culpability through an intermediary of a group to obscure who actually did the thing. So we're just going to charge everybody for
because they're
the charge of obscuring effectively.
And at that point, if you gangbanging, you know how this go. If you committing crimes, shout out to Dan Sachs. You can't draw a clear line on what's snitching or not. That's why. No, Dan, you're wrong. You can draw a clear line. Here's the clear line. If you committed a crime, or if you're in a life of crime, and you decide to tell the police on someone else's crime, if you decide to tell on someone else's crime to avoid accountability for your own crimes, it's snitching. That's snitching. That's your law. That's a commandment. I'm going to put it in a rap song. I'm going to write the new street commandments. I'm going to call the song the new Moses, and I'm going to bring the street commandments because you niggas is crazy.
But when you plead guilty,
that person is your homie, Mook, if they let you sit. Shout out to Mook. He said, so why let your homie sit for you? Yeah, that ain't your homie.
I would say, like, I thought, like, out of the gate, it would be like, and this is like my personal definition of like snitching and where the line is. Me and Glass is riding in the car. I'm driving. It's my car. He got a backpack. He got work in the backpack. Glasses has a hard line. I don't talk to police policy. I just zip it up and let them do what they want to do, and we'll fight it out when we fight it out. So he just goes whoop when they get pulled over. The police see the bag in the trunk or in the back seat. They tie it to me because it's my car, my possession. He's not owning it because he doesn't talk. I get in trouble because I'm the de facto possessor of the bag. But then I go, it's not my bag, it's his bag. Because we weren't in a transaction together. That's his shit. If we were in a transaction together, then I have to shut the fuck up because I'm an equity owner in the fruits of the transaction.
Even if you're a driver getting 10%.
You are an equity owner in 10% of the fruits of the transaction.
Facts. That's a clear line.
If you know what was in that trunk already, though, and you told me to put it in the trunk right there, and y'all drove off right there, and the police pull us over, it's up for the police.
If I'm not getting paid, you know that's your problem. I'll drive you to your friend's house, but you have to own that shit because I'm not getting paid. I'm not part of your shit. I'm just helping you out as a friend. So you owe me.
If you're just giving me a ride and you don't know what's in the bag, my job listen.
Yeah. You know what's in the bag. If you know what's in the bag, though.
Yeah, if you know what's in the bag, that you ain't supposed to tell either.
Yeah, you ain't supposed to tell.
Because now you are a criminal at that point.
Yeah. Because you knew what was in the bag already, though.
That's
now,
the point.
I just put the bag in the trunk. If I put the bag in the trunk and I didn't tell you what was in the bag,
that's my cross to bear.
That's on me. I gotta hold that right there. You know what I'm saying?
And if I don't, I understand if you said, hey, no, this nigga bag. I don't give a fuck what's in it. This is his bag. But again, if you know I'm taking if I'm like, hey, Pete, take me to drop off this bird. I don't care if I'm paying you or not. If you know it's a bird in a bag, if it's a gallon of PCP in that bag, you signed up for it.
Yeah, you know what you're risking already.
Yes, you signed up.
So don't do anybody any favors is the bottom line. It's a general rule. If you want a favor for me to drive you,
yeah, that's it. You know what I'm saying? That's it. But now I'm a scumbag if I put that bag in that trunk and I'll tell you what was in that bag, though. I'm a piece of shit.
Shout out to AO. Thank you for the $20, my boy, for the Soapbox family. Yes, sir. We in the house. We in the house.
Todd keep bringing up the 50 Cent thing. 50 Cent got
What
it
50
sounds
Cent
to me
thing?
his description of it.
What 50
I'm
Cent
not
thing?
finna argue about no 50 Cent thing, dog.
What
Because
50
I
Cent thing?
don't know his
50
case.
Cent got
So
no balls on him. He ain't got no balls on him. We ain't
I
about to do
can't
that.
look. I don't know his case. I don't even want to bring. I don't know his case.
We ain't about to do that.
He was saying
He got no
something about
balls
some
on
guy
him.
named Hama shot him, and he said that
I
he
don't
did it, but
care.
the police
I
didn't
don't
know
know
they
his
did it until he
case.
said it or something.
I'm focused on the things that I know. I don't want to talk about nobody case I don't know in part. That's the problem now. I don't know his case. I know this case. I know what's
You're
going
a
on with
piece of
Relly. I know what's
ass.
going on with
Don't let
Gunner.
anybody call you fucking that.
No, this is what we saying, Cherry. Cherry says, so y'all setting up your friend because the car is in his name. Sorry, I'm telling that ain't mine.
No.
This is what I'm saying, Sherry. So here's three things that can happen. If I ask Pete to give me a ride somewhere and I got a gallon of PCP in a backpack and I put it in his car, he don't know what's going on. Police pull me over and he say, hey, that's Glass's bag. That's not telling. Right?
And I'll say, frankly, if he tells me, if he hits me up and says, hey, bro, you want $1,000 to drive me across town?
You can't tell.
I'm not telling.
Yes,
if he said, hey, I got something in the bag, you know, we rolling some errands, and you drop me up over here.
That's not you can tell.
I would not in real life, I wouldn't say I wouldn't let him in the car without making it clear. You have to own that shit.
Yeah, you got.
Or you're not getting in the car.
That's it. That's it.
Like in real life.
Yeah. But at that point, it has nothing to do with you. So again, it's different. It's not confusing. It's simple. We just clearing it up for y'all that's acting confused. It's simple to us. We all get it. We all knew he didn't have to say that. We know it. That's why Pete, even though Pete is a man, because street urban culture is bred in primitive and standard masculinity. That's why he gets it, even though he's not from the street. Pete know, one, if I put a bag of PCP in this car, we go somewhere and I don't tell him, I better take it. And he understand if he don't, I know he gonna tell on my ass. He ain't going to jail for it. Don't got nothing to do with him. Two, if I say, hey, Pete, give me a ride to drop this PCP off, he gonna either tell me, hey, you gonna take it, or he gonna say yes. But at that point, he signs on. He know he can't tell. Now it's up to me to be a man and take my own case. Or two, it's up for him to be a man and say, I don't want nothing to do with that shit. Don't put that shit in my goddamn car.
That's
Three,
it.
if I say, hey, I'll give you $1,000 to take me to drop this PCP off.
We all in.
Nigga, we all in.
We all in.
Yeah.
We going all the way with this shit now. Nigga. I don't know who they put it in the trunk. That shit wasn't in the trunk. What you talking about? Fuck out of here. I don't know what it is.
Shout out to Baby Lane Stanfield. He got it. No, nigga, I can't give you a ride. Catch an Uber. Facts.
That's it. That's
Who's
all
saying
it
you're
is.
lying?
Don't
You're
be.
confused. I don't understand. Dan talking about
Ain't
that.
gotta be
Man is
cool.
capping.
We still
capping.
cool. We still
I
Man
don't
is
cool.
know
just
what he
causing
means.
chaos for no reason.
Who that?
Dan
No,
Sachs.
this is a guy in chat. He just causing chaos. I ain't paying that attention.
This
This what I'm saying to you, Todd. I don't know about his case. I never got into none of them cases. The cases I'm talking about is the cases I'm talking about. And I'm telling you what's snitching. You want to sit up here and argue about something I don't know about. I'd have to read about it. I have to read through the files like I read through these case files. I have to read through the files and see what's going on. But I'm also one of them people who don't talk about shit they don't know about. I'm not talking about nothing I don't know about. I don't talk about nothing I don't know nothing about. If I don't know about it, because I'm not talking about it.
Yeah, okay.
And I don't know about it.
Dan has brought this point up a couple times. And I know what you mean. I know what he means now. If you own the shit yourself, it's your decision to deal with how you want to manage your vulnerability versus just dumping your vulnerability on the next guy to manage. I think that's largely, if you got, look, I got caught, I can plead, I can minimize my shit, whatever.
To get attention on YouTube. He is fully aware of everything we talking about.
I'll give you a case, right? My man was riding with his people one time, right? And they double parked. The man dude was driving, hopped out the car. You know what I'm saying? My man was in the passenger seat. Police run up in the car. You know what I'm saying? They find the joint up in the car. They find the gun up in the car. You know what I'm saying? My man, the driver's not in the car. You know what I'm saying? Who actual joint it was. My man got locked up for the joint. He got to eat the, you know what I'm saying? He knew the joint was in the car. He had to eat the joint. So now at that point, it comes up to, y'all got to prove right now why it was mine. You know what I'm saying? Took it to court. He beat the shit for illegal search. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, he could have said, yo, this is not my car. This, that, this. It's, you know what I'm saying? This, that, this. You gotta let the court decide and let the court figure out what the fuck the shit is. You don't give them no fucking sort of evidence and no shit to fucking incriminate somebody else. You know what I'm saying? You knew that joint was in the car. You know what you was riding with. You know what the danger was. That's how the whole shit
Shout
goes.
out to Red Rose. Red Rose, that's fire. I'm finna post that. Hold up. But shout out to Todd. He said, we talk about the UMG case and we really don't know what's going on. And this is what I be saying when I know y'all be fucking fans of the fucking aisle, cuz like, this is why y'all argue this shit. This is why y'all be arguing this shit, because y'all fans of that fucking aisle, cuz, and y'all really feel like you got mainstay in this conversation because you've been listening to some motherfucking rap for 15 years. You don't fucking know. When you asking me why we talking about the UMG case, we don't know what's going on. What the hell you mean I don't know? I know what's going on behind closed doors, in front of closed doors, and in the paperwork. You don't know what's going on. And you won't accept simple truths. Because you a fan and you not for real. I don't give a fuck if I'm a fan of no motherfucker. If they did some Buster shit, I'm telling them. We talk about the UMG. No, we talk about the UMG case because the case is on paper. It's 81 pages. I read the 81 pages. So if you can't tell, if your brain can't disseminate cuz the difference, when I ain't read no 50 Cent cases, cuz, and I read this case, but you talking about I read the case. I just told your ass I didn't read the other case. So why the fuck is you not listening? Like you just being retarded, cuz, and it's dumb. Like I hate that. And you is a fan of that fucking owl. You are. And it's not no emotion, but the first day you came here to argue with me about that fucking owl, cuz that's the truth. We only know what the court I'm telling you, this is what I'm saying. I'm telling you in one case, I don't know what the court documents say. And I'm telling you in another case, I know what the court documents say. But you ask me, why am I discussing one case and not that? Cuz I don't know what the court documents said. I never read them.
Teasy has an interesting point. With this logic, how will really do to snitch? He's a victim.
Because
I think he solicited the conflict in part. Correct? Is that how I understand it?
Yeah.
You can shot running the cops and not like me.
If you get in a fight
and
are part of a fight and get shot, you probably shouldn't. Now it's different. You're a party to the activity.
You know what? And this is what it really comes down to. The fact that I have to have this conversation at this level, it all comes down to this. Shout out to Red Rose. This is brilliant. If it's taking you this long to get it, you're not culturally of the street. Don't worry yourself.
That's a fact.
If you don't get what I'm saying in these cases, if you don't get what I'm saying in the specific UMG documents where I'm talking about the owl suing this record label, you don't get it. And that's fine if you don't get it, bro. But stop making false comparatives. Stop being disingenuous. Build in good faith. That's all I'm asking. That's all I try to do in this thing right here, bro. I try to have this thing in good faith. Like, you really don't put your name. You really got a dot. You really don't have a follower. You don't have anything. Everything you're doing is in bad faith.
That might be the owl.
On some street, it could be. But the point I'm saying is, it's like it's the unmasculine ability to not be you publicly. You don't want me to know who you talking to. And I'm still treating you in good faith by having you in a space, honoring things you saying to me, when everything that you're doing is to not be accountable, which is the most unmasculine shit in the world.
Lucky Lawrence said the gentleman only has 2 tweets. I only have 1 tweet. So he's twice as credible as I am.
He's gaslighting right now because that emotional shit. Don't fall for that nigga trick bag. That's a trick bag.
There's no chance. He's mistaken. I'm passionate about the things that I care about and know about. That's the emotion you feel. But that's the reason of emotion. It's disingenuous. I can't stand disingenuous people. I can't stand people that talk out of good faith just to have attention. But again,
the streets got motherfuckers to be a billionaire.
If it's taking you this long to get it, you're not culturally of the street. Don't worry yourself. And shout out to Todd. Todd, if you don't know my character, that's why you confused on what my character is. Nigga, this is me 7 days a week, 365. Breakfast Club, Joe Rogan, anywhere I'm at. You ain't did no 11 and a half years. You were Owl fan. You did 11 days in motherfucking, at best,
In sleepaway camp. Fuck out of here,
man.
Fuck out of here.
We not boot nobody. We don't even boot trolls. You know what I'm saying? We don't even boot.
Nah, you good, bro. Stick around. Stick around, man.
You know what I mean?
Stick around,
I'm just
man.
saying, you gonna
I have an issue with Dan. I just thought that we were looking at the situation from two different angles and kind of like talking from two different points on the same spectrum line. I was just trying to get some clarity.
What I realized about social media, bro, it gives people access into a world that they would never take themselves into. And there are people of the street that do have questions, and of the culture that do have questions, but it's just not real. Shout out to Sydney Fairfield. This disingenuous. Okay, with destroying community and culture, but mad when snitched on. Nobody's destroying community and culture. If you burn down a fucking daycare, your ass will go to jail. That's destroying the community. That's destroying the community. That's destroying the community. Y'all got to stop trying to have this up. And this is why half of these people ain't hip hop. When they so goddamn silly to where they say, oh, they're destroying the culture and the community. Shut the fuck up. The hell you talking about, Sydney? What are you talking about? How do what destroy the community? How the hell can Pepsi destroy the community? You ain't picking it in front of their house. McDonald's destroy the community. You ain't picking it in front of their house. All of a sudden now you worried about the gangs. Oh, the gangs no. What destroy the communities is the same people. Black gang culture destroying black. Shut your goofy ass up. Oh, it's destroying. No, it's not. What destroyed the black community? The same white people that have been destroying the black community since its inception. Shut up. Stop making stuff up. Y'all just wake up one day and just repeat a bunch of silly rhetoric and it just be crazy. And not just be like, y'all don't get it. Y'all don't get it. Destroying the black. You ain't never even been to the black. What the hell you talking about the black community? What are you talking about? How the hell did anybody destroy anything? People fight. That's what they do. That's like saying all the Israel people fight. Well, they destroying it. Shut up. Oh, Ukraine is destroying Ukraine. Shut up. Shut up. If people want to fight, let them fight and let the justice system deal with it. Don't keep your stuff away from you. And it's not silly, Dan. No snitching is a silly rhetoric. Stop being stupid. Of course it's not. Be a man or make better decisions. It's the best thing I ever heard in my life. Not snitching might be the greatest law I have ever heard in my entire life. Because if you do not want to have nothing to do with this, stay out of it.
That's kind of what I was going to say. Like if everybody abided by that, then the volume of criminality would plummet because 85% of the people involved really have more either, I don't want to say value for their time, but they perceive themselves to be in a space that's less reckless than to just be like, I don't give a fuck. I have nothing else to lose, so I'm just going to go full throttle. That would cut through an enormous amount of that population. It really would.
Shout out to Hemsism, who invited the Fox News panel in the chat. Facts. Who brought the fucking Klan members to the lunch table, man?
I thought he was talking about me first.
They gotta eat too.
Oh man. Look at this. So this is my point, Sydney. Two dudes go on a mission. Said mission is criminal activity. Criminal activity destroys something. Dude A gets mad. Dude B snitches. Yet people pretend he's hold to moral standards. Make it make sense, boss. You know why? Because at the end of the day, when people agree to be outside of the law, see the way you see the law, Sydney, this is your problem. You see the law as some kind of moral standard of righteousness. That's how you live your life. You would have been the person, if you was a brother or a sister on a plantation, Sydney, you would have been a brother like, no, don't y'all leave, master. The rule, master say you can't get off that plantation. You know what I mean? Don't get off the plantation because, that's the rule. When they're over there reading, the old master, he over here reading. Everybody don't follow the law, Sydney. The law in America is not the ultimate standard of morality in our world. And it really shouldn't be in any black person's world in America. If you are of a descendant of slaves and you follow the laws, that's your fucking moral compass. You are a lost Negro. I'm going to tell you the truth. I never said this in my life. If you are a descendant of a slave and you follow the laws of America as some kind of moral standard, you are a lost Negro. Now, Sydney, if you're a white woman, I understand. You might be a white woman, and I get it. You like, why are they just breaking the law? Well, Sydney, if you're a white woman, your ancestors always broke the law to progress. That's standard.
Breaking the law. Yep. Yeah.
It's not no thing, Sydney. I'm telling you, Sydney, that's the thing. The law is not the alter. I don't think the law is better than the streets at all. I don't think nothing about the law is better in the legal standard in America. The moral authority is, forgive me for being corny, treating others how you want to be treated. Or God's word, I'm black as F from Louisiana. So if you black from Louisiana, then why are you talking to me about what the white man laws say to you? Treating others how you want to be treated. So guess what I don't want? It might take me to fuck somebody up for them to understand and stop playing with me. If somebody owe me some money, I want my money, Sydney. And I might have to kick their ass to get my money. Oh, you shouldn't kick their ass. What are you talking about? What you think people shooting about? You think people really shooting over street signs and bandanas? Like you a sister.
Name brand. The president didn't tell either, though. President didn't tell.
So why are you talking about two people shooting at each other? If two people want to shoot at each other, I'm sure they got a reason to shoot at each other. Mind your damn business. It don't destroy the community. It destroy the people who shooting at each other until they break a law outside of the rules that's the street. Your president is on the same type of time. Shout out to my niece who just said the same thing. The president is the biggest gangster.
The president don't want no snitches either, though.
No, Dan. We make up our own laws because the laws for America don't work for us. That's why, Dan. That's what an outlaw is, Dan. It's outside of the law. Outlaw, outside law, outlaw. But I definitely, Dan, don't want no white man making no rules for me because we see how that worked out for the last 400 years. So other brothers make the law. That's what happened. We come to an agreement in the law.
Damn, son.
It's just crazy, man. You try to make sense to people. And this is why I'm saying
hip-hop. They ain't gonna get it.
This is why I'm saying, like, you're trying to educate somebody and they feel like they know something because they look at YouTube videos or listen to the goddamn rap songs.
Who's American Negro News? Is that one of the guys from
that's Rob. That's the homie Rob. He's a
okay. Gotcha. Yeah, I can see. Like, I just didn't know if he was with Digital Soapbox or not because he kept promoting it and stuff. I don't know who everybody is that works behind the scenes.
So again, it's one of those things that come to how people fight. Yes, shootouts can jeopardize public safety. Yes, that can happen. Yes, that can happen. That's happened. McDonald's jeopardize public safety. That's just kind of the life we live. That's just this life. I feel bad. If you go to jail for it, you go to jail for it. That's the point. You break the law, you go to jail for it. That's how it works. Yes, shootouts can jeopardize public safety. And if you shoot somebody innocent, your ass going to jail. If you shoot somebody in the life, you going to jail. That's the point. But you got to stop having these conversations in bad faith, and you got to stop talking in silly rhetorics. Like, it's silly rhetorics. It's silly, bro. Like, I'm sick and tired of y'all just fucking sellouts, bro. What the fuck is wrong with y'all? Yes, that's the rules. If you break the rules, your ass can go to jail. Yeah, they got a place for you. They got a place for you. Exactly, but they ain't gonna, shout out to Tank. They ain't gonna talk about that. You ain't talking about get rid of the. You ain't said the police is, oh my God, they're a threat to the community. Police officers jeopardize public safety on a daily basis. They speeding through intersections, chasing people because they didn't pull over for a damn ticket. They can hit people in 1,000. That's life. I'm not making none of it right. I'm just telling you that's what happen when you live the motherfucker. We don't have a culture, Dan. We don't have a culture. No, it won't save our goddamn. I don't even know what our culture is because I know we ain't talking about black culture. But no, snitching will not save anything. Snitching is raggedy and it's unmasculine. You know what will save the culture? Get your ass away from shit. Get your ass out the kitchen if you don't like the fire. If you are not meant for it, get out of there. Snitching don't make everything better. People not gonna stop committing crimes. Then they commit crimes because they fucking poor. So how the hell is telling gonna save anything? Like y'all gotta stop with these $2 antidotes. God damn, at least get $5 antidotes. Shit.
They trolling.
What the hell? We got a culture, Dan. Y'all don't have a culture. I have to yell at y'all, Sherry, because y'all are the disingenuous and bad faith conversations we are having is either from ignorance or the audacity to come and troll the loc. Like, why would you try to troll the loc? What do you think you're doing?
Troll the loc. That's what they doing right
That's the new thing. Hashtag troll the loc.
Troll the loc. That's the new hashtag for the day. Troll the loc.
Troll the fucking loc. So again, it just this what I'm saying, Pete. No snitching has never been acceptable. It's not even a little bit more acceptable. Shout out to Todd. He yelling because he emotional. You can't be that way if you're going to debate. No, Todd. We're not debating, Todd. You're having a conversation in bad faith. You're hiding your face. You're using a burner account. You're here. We're not your name. We don't even know who you are. You're not even in position to have a debate. You're not even honest enough to be who you are. Nobody knows you.
Did Aubrey send you? I think Aubrey sent them.
Yes, because that's how we first met. So you're naturally, Todd, you're naturally not even starting a conversation in good faith or even debating. Don't challenge what I say. Stop challenging what I say. There's no reason for you to just challenge what I say. Why is that? Why would you challenge what I say? You answer me because I'm saying I'm striking a nerve. No, you're not.
You're not saying nothing, though.
You're not saying nothing. I'm being a real man by genuinely taking in the conversation. I could just not talk to you because I know your conversation is not being honest. I'm giving you what you're asking for because this is the reason why you want to be here. You came to hear us talk, and we're having an honest conversation. Everybody in good faith, even Pete, all of us. But you're having it in bad faith. You're just here to cause a level of chaos and have things that don't agree. There's no need to argue.
Yeah.
Sometimes people just argue for the sake of arguing.
Yeah. Let's get back to the rally shit, though, man. What's your thoughts on that rally thing, though, man?
I mean, I just find it weird. And everybody see us pointing to a civil suit. They feel like if he nails the criminal part of it, you know what I'm saying? If he nails the criminal part of it, then the civil part is easy.
Yeah.
You are the bad guy, Todd. You are the bad.
Well, you know who he is, though. I mean, so he can't be like, he's not blind of his identity, at least to you conversationally. I mean, you know who he is. Like, who? I don't know who he is, but you know who he is, right?
I don't know who he is.
You said Todd.
That's what he told me his name is.
Oh.
You don't have a picture. He's using
I thought that you knew who he was in reference, like, from outside of the ecosystem.
No, I don't know him at all.
No.
Hell no. If I knew him in real life, I'd have been kicked the shit out of him for saying some dumb shit like that. You can't listen.
Yeah,
I don't got homeboys like that, bro. Like, if my homies use a burner accounts, we not even homies, bro. First day I met Katie, I was like, you should stop using a burner account, dog. When we first started talking, I'm like, man, you should just be you. It's way better. I don't got no burner accounts, bro. Like, I'm you all the time. No,
I thought it was Kendrick Lamar because his whole
he's
thing
using
is simply a
gaslighting
dot.
words, man. It's like
his name is Dot.
You confusing with me saying you're doing. It's not emotional. Like when you spank your son, it's not being emotional. You just need to be the shit kicked out of you so you could be a man. So you could log in with your real name and your picture, and you could be proud of your thoughts happening. You feel me? So I respect your trolling attempts, but I'm telling you, the problem is I would kick the shit out of you because that would help you in life. Right now, you're not like a full-out man, like you're hiding behind a character. No, Dan, it's not an opinion. It's a fact. This is the one thing y'all also can't do. Y'all can't confuse me. Y'all can't confuse. I know who I am. I know what I'm doing, and I know what I'm saying, and I done backed it up with the work. What y'all saying is out of total silliness. I'm not in for that. You not a man, Todd. You using a burner account. Who uses a burner account, Todd? I put my picture. When you look at my picture on Instagram, Todd, look, it's me right here, right now.
God,
you look at my picture, Todd, it's right there. All my following me. I don't have a fake Todd. I don't have that, Todd. If you using a burner account, you kind of like not a man. Well, no, Todd. The truth is, I can just ignore you, and then you just be nothing. Then you just go into a space where nobody paying you attention. Me talking to you is the greatest thing I could do as a man. It's acknowledging your thoughts and giving it credence.
What was Todd's first argument, though? Where did this stem from?
Drake.
Todd agrees with it was Drake.
The first day Todd came to the lunch table, he was talking about Drake.
You got a good memory of all these personalities.
Yeah, he don't smoke a Drake.
He was you referred to him as a Drake fan, and his name Todd, and I'm like, shit, you must know this guy like.
Yeah, no.
Outside of like in real life or something.
And that's true.
He just said in the chat he's not a Drake fan though.
Yeah, but he's lying.
Caping for Drake though.
Yeah. That's a fact. Okay. That's why he even brought why would you bring up a criminal case and a civil case? Like I'm telling him I didn't read the 50 Cent case. I never read the case. I don't know the case, but he said you brought up the UNG case when I read all 81 pages. Why? How is that even comparative? We know what it is. That didn't
sound like it was a case. I mean, the way he described it, it was like, and I didn't know which he was referring to, because there's a few sentences, it was like a paragraph. It was saying like 50 said some guy named Hama shot him, and then Hama got shot, and if he didn't say it, not even the police knew who he was. So and there wasn't the case. It was just he said some shit in the song, and some guy got shot over the song.
Man, I'm not doing none of that shit. I'm not doing none of that shit. That shit ain't even a real comparative thing.
At all. Listen, how you compare that to UMG cases now?
That's why you know, cuz it's part of the parliament. You know they call a group of owls a parliament.
Oh shit.
That's a very humorous, because owls have that distinguished kind of, owl cartoons are always old and smart.
Yeah, cuz it's part of the parliament, and this is why it's ridiculous. It's silly. It's like, why would you even compare them two cases? And he really offended that I don't know 50 case. I don't know 50 case because I never got into it. I don't think it was a
case. I think he was just talking about.
I'm telling you, I don't know none of it.
That's what I was trying to get to the bottom of. It didn't sound like it was a case. Yeah. It was just like him saying some, like airing out some shit on a track. Yeah, but and then the guy ended up getting shot.
I'm not even gonna argue about that, bro. That is not even close to it.
Which is a lot different than putting your hand on the Bible.
Yeah, I'm not even talking about. Listen, if you tell the police that I shot somebody, even if they never bring you into court, you still a rat.
Sure, yeah. I say put your hand on your Bible, but like again, a studio microphone and a recording or a notepad or.
I'm not even gonna honor the genuine thoughts of that. That's just ridiculous. That's just stupid. Yeah, I'm not. Some of this stuff we got to get past. Like I can't have these conversations at level 1, bro.
Yeah,
Pete, you here because you are street urban savvy enough to have these conversations. You're a brilliant and very knowledgeable person in mainstream America, but you are more than street savvy enough to understand what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? And this is the point to like I'm saying to Todd or anybody else, like this is me in real life all the time. Like there is no emotions to nothing. Once I leave this thing, we're gonna get on TikTok. I'm gonna get on
TikTok.
TikTok. No, TikTok. We're gonna go live there because I was gonna tell you we was gonna try that. We're gonna get on TikTok, go live there. You feel me? And do the space. But again, it comes into a thing where it's like he wants me to talk about some shit I don't know.
Why do you keep trying to venture onto platforms I don't have a profile on?
You need to
have one either. I gotta get one then. I gotta set one up.
I thought they were shutting it down. I'm like, I'm not gonna go get a TikTok now. They'll shut it down in 16 hours.
It's bad.
Shout out to Ayo, and this is really the truth. I appreciate the fact that G Malone is even engaged in this. Shows his character as a man, stand up. And the crazy part is, instead of him appreciating the fact that I am acknowledging the silly things he's saying, he's like, well, you paying attention or you being a like, bro, why are we having this level one? That's like if you tell me, you guys are killing over colors, I'm going to get offended.
I think this kind of comes back to that whole concept, like this opaque gray area of dry snitching, which is just talking about anything at any time in any context, versus like actual,
Tell him to come to 88.
That's a fact.
We'll
That's
clean
a
him up.
fact.
It is true.
That's a fact.
Todd, download Clubhouse. Todd, come on here. Yeah. Everybody can hear your voice.
ADHD, all debates are heated discussions. Pull up.
Yeah,
Let's have a great convo.
Again, that's where you need to be. But again, Todd, it's like masculinity is this is what I love about the street. And shout out to Dan, because Dan, I get what you're saying, Dan, but let me tell you something that's really important and what I've been able to disseminate when it comes to street urban culture. Right. And shout out to Sherry, because she gives me hell for this all the time. I think my TikTok is Glasses Low, Sherry.
No, you're kidding me.
So.
That's it?
I think so. But Revenge, you got to subscribe to the AD. I'm gonna send you a link, Revenge, on Twitter, so you can subscribe to the AD.
Yeah, Revenge, you gotta come through.
But this is what I love about the streets, and this is why I get it. I get why people feel how they feel when I talk about the streets, because I talk about it in this very almost like people would think I have like this different affinity for it. Right? Is not. I understand it in a way that a lot of people don't understand it. I understand the primitive attempt at masculinity that's happening. So when you see somebody in the shootout, you're like, oh, they're dangerous to the community. I don't see it like that. I see it like two men hashing out their issues the best that they can. That's how I see it. You feel me? I see it that way. That's how I see it. When you see a bunch of gangs and you're like, oh, look at those guys, they're getting together because they live on, they wear the same color. Right? It's like I see a bunch of poor people coming together to make something of their lives as best as they can. That's what I see. When y'all used to see hip hop as like, oh, look at, they're just taking other people's music and they're just using this sampler and it's not real music. I saw it as a bunch of poor people taking art and not having programs in school and yet figuring out how to put ideas together to make their own song. Yeah. The only POV that this podcast is about is hip hop, is street urban culture. Pete is mainstream. He can give you a mainstream. I can't give you a mainstream take.
I'm not mainstream. I'm just not hip hop. I'm like eccentrically aloof.
I actually agree with that. That's probably true. So what y'all don't like, what y'all have to say about the streets, I don't feel that way. And yes, I know I could die, but I also understand what's happening. Like, I know why people are killing and dying in these streets. It's not just because it's a color bandana. It's way more to it than that. Shout out to V. Glasses, real question. How do you love the streets but regret selling dope? That was the best part. You know what's funny, V, bro? I'm going to leave that up there. Because dope is the only thing I felt that people were really a victim of. Like, in a perfect world, people would be accountable. They would understand their own addiction and make choices based off of what they want. But again, because I don't drink, I don't smoke, you know what I'm saying? I didn't understand addiction growing up. I didn't understand addiction, bro. I never drank a cup of coffee, bro. I was in the studio with E40. He been trying to get me to drink wine since I met him. It's been, we was on tour 15 years ago. He trying to get me to drink wine. Like I don't understand addiction.
What kind of wine does E40 drink?
All kind of shit.
I'm
Top
fascinated by
notch
this.
shit. He drank Carlo Rossi all the way to $1,000 bottles.
He got his own joint too.
Yeah, he do. And everybody said it's really good. But selling dope was the one thing that I didn't quite understand. And I realized people couldn't control themselves. You know what I mean? It's not like snitching. Like, it's different. You know what I mean? A snitch is somebody who just don't want to be accountable. Somebody on drugs, bro, is like, they can't control themselves. It's a chemical control. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't understand that because I never smoked. I never drank. I never did drugs. I never even drank coffee, bro. I don't know addiction. So when I realized how strong addiction was, I realized that when I made a sale to a lady, she came and bought 2 sticks and she was pregnant. And I knew that no sane woman would actually, something else has to be wrong. If you're a pregnant woman and you're going to jeopardize your kids, your unborn kids, I realized at that point, like, oh yeah, this person don't have control. So I regret being ignorant in that space. Gangbanging is something I never regretted. I never felt that way because I understand to exist in this space, sometimes you do have to let people know, hey, I'm not playing with you. Gangbanging don't mean you snatch old lady purses. Gangbanging is not this level of unrighteousness in the culture space itself. Now to the law, they like, oh, you know what? Those guys shot each other. Well, I shot that nigga because them niggas jumped on my brother and damn near killed him. That's why I shot that nigga. And I'll shoot that nigga ass again. And I don't believe in your system or your government to do nothing right. That's why I don't feel bad about gangbanging. Every part of thing I did in gangbanging, I decided was the right thing to do. Nobody told me that you have to do this. They explained to me why it made sense, and then I challenged them and got what I needed to make sure I could make it make sense. So again, I don't have that feeling, you feel me, towards gangbanging. Because gangbanging ain't about snatching purses. Gangbanging ain't about breaking into people's houses and stealing their stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's all of the above. You know what I'm saying? That's not gangbanging. Gangbanging is how you carry yourself as somebody from this community, how you live your life, everything. But yeah, I regret selling dope. That was like, I really regret that more than anything in the world. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Sydney Fairfield. We hear the benefits of street urban culture. According to GM, besides being snitched on, what has street urban culture done that's hurt you or black folks in mass? Sincere. Street urban culture don't hurt nobody. How can a culture hurt anybody? A culture is about making do. It's about a movement of people agreeing that this is how we gonna do our thing. Like the fact that somebody could say, hey, slang is bad because you don't know how to speak proper English. That's because the educational systems is bad. It's necessary. Some people could say soul food is bad because it can give you high blood pressure. Well, that's all these people had to eat. So that's what they ate. That's why it makes sense. How could you be condemning to culture? That's just silly. How could I be condemning to street urban culture? How could I look at anything in hip hop and be upset with if this is how people were making their lives work? Gangbanging has, like killing people has nothing to do with gangbanging. People kill each other. They not from gangs all the time. Countries kill each other. Religions kill each other. People, that's just a human thing. So no, I don't see anything that's bad in street urban culture for Black America. I don't. It's only bad when you start acting like you one of these niggas. That's the bad part. The bad part is when you don't have to be one of these niggas and you bring your ass down here and you start acting like one of these niggas.
Told you stop messing with them fellas.
That is bad. So that's the thing that will hurt Black America. Shout out to Queen Lady Act TV. So do you think the new generation should join gangs? You don't really join a gang though, Brandy. Like you don't really join a gang. Go ahead, Pete.
We pull that back up there again. Queen Lady Act TV.
Yeah.
Is that your Rolls Royce? That's a nice car.
Fucking Pete, man.
No. I want to answer. Is that your Rolls Royce?
I don't know.
I'm betting the under.
Yeah, she answered you. So what I'm saying though is, you don't join a gang. Like this is the craziest part that nobody's ever really expressed to you, right?
I want to know why.
In real gang banging, you don't join a gang. You already from the community. You already from the community.
It's your peoples.
If you asking me, should you go out and commit crime? That depends on you and your life. Long as you okay with being accountable for said crimes. That's what I'll tell you. Long as you're okay with possibly going to prison. Long as you're okay with possibly going to jail.
Don't do it and say him did it. You know what I'm saying? Don't do that right there. You better do it and stand on it.
Don't. Is it a form of snitching to take your picture in front of someone else's car?
Oh, man.
No.
I'm out.
I was just trying to.
That is called That is called aggravated capping.
I'm glad you said that, Revenge. I'm gonna get to that. Shout out to Sydney Fairfield. Soul food correlates to bad health. The fact that you just missed what I said and you said it correlates to bad health.
Crazy.
Like
it's
fuck, man.
You gotta start putting you gotta look at the whole frame, the colors in the picture, you gotta understand what's being said though. We are speaking English here.
Listen.
I
don't think again, when slaves had a choice, I don't think they chose the foot of the pig versus the chop. I don't think they chose the tail of the cow, right, over the steak. I think they made the best. Shout out to Moses.
They put their soul into it. They put their soul into it.
Shout out to Moses. He can see it. But this because this shit be crazy, Moses.
Smarty Low gonna teach him.
This shit is crazy. That's the homies used to call. That's what's crazy, Moses. I'm like, why are we having this? What's happening?
Teach him.
Okay, I got you, Sydney. They were slaves, Sydney. They were slaves. It's not about unintended consequences happen. They didn't have a choice. It was the tail of the cow or death or starvation.
Ain't she from Louisiana?
Ain't she from Louisiana?
The hell you explaining this shit to? She's from Louisiana.
No, what she asked me was, she said, how is it bad? Right? This is why I'm saying, Pete, I'm putting two different things together. Right? She said specifically, let me get to it. She said, is there anything bad about, we hear the benefits of street urban culture according to Glasses Malone. Besides being snitched on, what has street urban culture done that's hurt you or black folks in mass, sincerely? If you say soul food hurts black people, you're missing what I am saying.
Yeah.
You're facing starving or soul food.
We made it happen. We made gourmet meals out of the
so how can I look at that as bad? If you get one extra day to live, Pete, you got to drink piss, but you get one extra day to live.
You drinking piss?
No, I understand that. I think what she's
Sydney, you drinking piss?
Trying to aim at is the difference between
should gonna be some lemonade,
like, cause and perpetuation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's ridiculous because then you would have to understand what's making it happen, right? So soul food is not how people eat every day. Because you know why? Soul food is fucking expensive today. So you're not getting no fucking oxtail.
Blame with perpetuation,
huh?
But you're associating blame with perpetuation. The two are not necessarily the same.
I'm not associating blame with perpetuation. What I'm saying to you is this is specific, right? She's saying specifically about street urban culture. And I'm expressing it. She says soul food correlates to bad health. They got an extra day to live. Culture is what's the mother of all invention, Pete?
Necessity. Is it a necessity in 2025?
Yes. And
why?
For people that it's not, that's the problem. That's what we're talking about now. Right? So what I'm saying is if you live in a very nice condition and you eating soul food every day with your money, you are the problem, but you cannot blame that on slaves. You get it? You cannot blame that on slaves.
No one's blaming that on the slaves.
So then how could you blame street poor people on wealthy people emulating poor people? This is the reason street urban culture exists is because, again, it's like slave culture. It's what people had to work with. So they made it work. But if you don't have to make this work, you're considered a poser, which is why we're saying certain people are not a part of the culture. So no, it wouldn't be bad. Now, if you're a black man that grew up in Beverly Hills and you're going to spend your money eating soul food, you're a fucking idiot. But if you want to blame slaves for your eating soul food, you're also unaccountable. No, that don't click.
That's fair. But like soul food nowadays is expensive. It's not the cheapest food you can get your hands on.
That's what. So again, I just said it. If you grew up in Beverly Hills with the privilege of money, and you're eating soul food, imagine me saying, well, you know what? Them damn slaves. Now this motherfucker eating soul food every day. Fucking slaves, that fucking slave culture. That's, you get what I'm saying? Like, that's how it is to me, blaming street urban culture specifically. Like, right, street urban culture is the fact that street urban culture organization is saying Crips. How does Crips play into regular America? They don't.
It's like lung cancer. The smoke gave you the lung cancer, but the lung cancer killed you. Because if you didn't get the lung cancer, the smoke wouldn't kill you. No. But the lung cancer didn't show up on its own.
But you're saying this, but I'm telling you, let's say you live next to a fucking factory where they make tobacco every day and you can't move nowhere else. And they burn it.
That's my point. That's what I'm saying. The smoke.
So then I'm
using the smoke symbolically.
But again, so asking me, comparing to somebody who smokes cigarettes versus somebody who live next to.
I'm not saying smoke cigarettes. I'm saying smoke. Just smoke.
But
I'm not saying you're a smoker. I'm just saying smoke in general.
Smoke, right? I'm saying specifically, Pete, if you live next to a tobacco factory where they burn tobacco every day, it's like saying this is how. Okay, Pete.
Yeah. I'm not saying you're the smoker. I'm just saying smoke exposure to tissue. I wasn't discriminating on the kind of smoke. Just any kind of smoke. Environmental smoke.
You love street urban culture. I'm asking, are there unintended consequences, whether for you or for others? This isn't about soul food. I use that because Jim used that as an analogy, because that's an analogy. Soul food is slave culture. That I'm giving you a cultural reflection. Street urban culture is no different than slave culture. Necessity becomes the mother of invention. That's why culture exists, because it's needed. It's not like somebody in the middle of Cerritos is making this shit up. You know, it ain't like somebody had a bunch of money, decided, you know what, I'm going to sample this tail. I'm going to take these greens. I'm not going to use spinach. I'm going to take these greens and cook this shit for 7 hours to make it tender. This is what you had to do. This is all you had. This is culture in general. Slave and street urban culture are the same cultures. They're not that far. They're not that far.
So I think what she's saying is to the fact of what we did with the street urban culture was though we made something into being cool and made everybody want to be a part of it though after that though. You know what I'm saying? Because when it first started off, then everybody didn't want to be a part of hip hop until it became a cool thing to be. You know what I'm saying? It's like everybody want to eat soul food until it became the cool thing. You know what I'm saying? Until people figured out how good it was. You know what I'm saying? So many people say, I want to see what that is like right there. You know what I'm saying? Even within the consequences of having to get high blood pressure like that, they still gonna risk themselves.
So again, your stupid ass blaming people. Your stupid ass blaming people because you're a jackass is not the equivalent. You cannot. If people in Beverly Hills, if you black in Beverly Hills and you didn't come from this lifestyle and you just eating soul food every day, you want me to blame slaves? That's what we're saying.
No, I don't think that's what she's saying.
I'm telling you. So then how don't you get this same comparative? If you're from this where this has to happen for you to stay alive. This is the standard of
I think that's priced into the question.
But I'm giving you a like comparison.
I know.
So again, if other people outside of this place start to emulate, it's not the slave's fault.
I think what she's saying, and again, if I could get a yay or a nay on this from interpretation, like I think she's saying the culture in general, as a broad bouquet of features, has some positive ones and some negative ones.
What's the negative?
And to throw out, that's I think what she's asking. Do you perceive there to be any negative ones at all? And can you throw out the baby without the bathwater, or however that expression is, the baby in the bathwater expression?
No, what's the negative thing?
Is that at least
what would be one negative thing?
Can she at least ask? Is that what you're asking?
For the sake of it, what's one negative thing about street urban culture?
Nothing.
What's one negative thing?
It's nothing.
Depends on how you want to define it, I suppose.
Well, give me something tell me something that's negative about street urban culture. What's negative about culture in general? Is it something you don't agree with? Huh?
It depends on, yeah, I mean, not I agree with it or not. It depends on a desired outcome.
But again, imagine saying that that's the lay of the land, right? So again, what are we really saying? Okay, before I lose, shout out to L. Janelle. She made a point. Said you're blending people here. Yes, there are some people born in the streets that use the culture to survive. That was then romanticized and it was being commercialized. Now people got stuck there. No, they didn't, L. Janelle. So again, you got to blame mainstream America for commercializing it to make money. It has nothing to do with the culture itself. The culture is just telling the story. Because some white people sold it to you and you looked up to it, it's not the people's fault that's going through the situation that made it happen.
I'll take it into a less personal space. Broader white culture as it is defined, at least colloquially on this particular show. You could say on the positive, it is incredibly hyper productive. On the negative, it is exploitative. That seems at least reasonable to do it in 17 words or however many words it was. Is there a similar attribution to this case?
No.
So it's all just perfect.
What do you mean? Listen, life is life. You're saying it's something negative. Is it something? You know what it is, bro? Here, simply put. It's like somebody that's sick, right? And they have a virus, some kind of new virus. And people are ignoring they have a virus, but they're sick and they keep sneezing. They cover their mouth, but they cannot get it to stop sneezing. Everybody's telling that person the problem is this person's sneezing versus the greater society not coming in to deal with the sickness. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think it's a bad comparison. But the illustration makes sense.
Well, it just depends on how you see street urban culture. If you see street urban culture as some kind of, hey, you know what? They're just doing this to be cool versus this is a bunch of poor people trying to make their circumstances cool. Feel me? Then you don't get it. And again, this is where being inside of the car looks different from the outside of the car, right? From the outside looking in, it's like, well, anybody could do better. From inside of the car, this is how you do better. So again, I get what you're saying, Pete, and I get what she's saying because she said it right now. She said the comparison don't matter. I get it. I get it. People don't have choices. I grew up middle class. I have more choices in life than young boy Bootsy where I'm from. That's the point. And that's why you think the same way, Pete. It's not about from the inside, it's different. From the inside, it's different. And I'm not really being like critiquing of your thought. It's different. Shout out to Revenge, because this is something I really got on Cuz about. He said, there's no accountability in that, though, and that's my problem. They know they can get sick. Lauryn Hill and Kendrick told us. They're both wrong, and I told him that he was wrong. It's up to society to help humans. It's up to humanity. So if you let a group of people fucking just be poor, they're going to figure out how to make their circumstances okay. If society cared about humanity, if humanity was humane and they went out and said, let me help you. Like when drill happened, if we said, hey, let's go in here and figure out what's wrong, then you don't get the drill movement. But if you sit your ass back and you let a culture continuously develop, you may not like the results, and it may infect other people in the world. But again, it's society's fault, Pete. It's society's fault. It's society's fault. So you have to. So when she's saying to me, is street urban culture negative? What's a negative thing in street urban culture? I'm asking somebody to tell me. You can't say violence is some kind of, that's normal. That's in fucking middle class, wealthy, poor, every landscape. Tell me something negative. The fact they don't speak great English is slang. Is that negative? Wearing a hat to the back, is that negative? Taking Dickies, work pants and putting a crease in them, that's negative. What's negative about it? What's negative?
How does it value education? How does it value big picture thinking? How does it value financial responsibility and decision making in that area? How does it value reproductive responsibility? All these various things. And you're going to turn around and you're going to say, oh, these are all products of the culture, and it inherited it, and just put a hat on sideways.
Yes, because you need to share the fucking money. You got to share the fucking money. If the schools is shitting at 60 people in what the fuck are they supposed to do? God damn, it's a simple answer. You just got to care about somebody but your fucking self. That's it. It's really simple. This shit be crazy, Pete.
But that's the point of my thesis paper I'm going to write.
It's simple. Give money.
Money is not the answer. Period. Money is not the answer. Period. Guaranteed.
It starts with money, Pete.
No, it doesn't.
You didn't live where you live without money. That's a lie, Pete. If your family live where I live, you be where I'm from. And ain't nothing your mom and dad could do. It wouldn't be nothing your mom and dad could do. You'll be from the set. Period. You be walking down the street every day, somebody whooping your motherfucking ass, and we have to help you. So money matter, because it puts you where you was at. It matter. It's a simple solution. You don't make a bunch of motherfuckers work for free and don't pay them. And then you don't fuck them up over after that. It's simple. Accountability is simple. That's what I like about the streets. Accountability is consistent. If you don't take care of your kids, you shamed, Pete. You shamed. Even though you ain't got no money to take care of your kids, you shamed. If you tell on another man because you did a crime, you shamed.
I'm not disagreeing with that.
Pete, it's not about agreeing or disagreeing. What I'm telling you is you can't blame the culture for the result.
I'm not blaming the culture. That's not what I'm doing.
If you're saying, how do you value it? How the fuck could you value education when there is none? How? Y'all, LA today ain't LA it was. Like if I take you to where we from right now, Pete, it ain't how it was.
I understand.
Guess what? Because there's a different opportunity.
Yeah, I get that.
Where I'm from, it was like that. It's like that, Pete. Share the fucking money. Pay what you fucking owe. It's simple. Put into it. Stop letting other human beings do horrible while you do incredible. It's dumb. It's a simple solution. And if you not, deal with the fucking consequences. Your fucking kid may be fucking catching some of this shit. But guess what? This is how people are making it. So when Sydney is saying to me, hey, you know, she want to look down on poor black people because she's a middle class or suburban black person, that's the problem. Because poor people in every walk of life do the same thing, Pete. It don't matter if they poor white, poor brown, poor red, poor yellow, poor black. Same shit. Same shit, dog. Same shit. So when people want me to look at street urban culture, like, what's bad? What's bad about it? How could you value it? How the fuck you even gonna get some money? Prime glasses low. How you gonna get some money? How the fuck you gonna get some money, Pete? How you gonna get some money? How you gonna? My mom valued education. You know what she did? She got me to the closest school that AP classes. My mom also is a registered nurse. She also is a registered nurse. She also had a master's nursing because my dad paid for her. Somebody else invested in her, changed her life. My mom wouldn't let me go to Compton or Dominguez because they didn't have AP classes, Pete. They don't have AP classes. I couldn't go to school with every nigga I grew up with because they don't have AP classes. And their education curriculum is fucked up. Compton and Dominguez, all that shit fucked up. So my mom made me go to Paramount because they had AP classes. She nurtured what was happening in my mind. But look what she had to do. She had to inconvenience herself at her job, 1,000 things. I had to start catching a bus and make it really hard to pursue a fucking education as a kid. When I can't just walk down the street to the school and go to an AP class. That's the problem, Pete. It's simple. So when I see a middle-class sister or a middle-class woman saying to me, well, what's the negative, Steve? What's the negative of fucking suburban and wealth black people? What are you doing? What are you fucking doing? What are you doing for people? When I look at humanity and I look at these fucking white people doing it, what are you doing? Why is that okay? This is no fucking argument, L. The fact that this is an argument is crazy. The fact that y'all feel like this, I'm debating y'all and this is a talk show and this is a podcast and I'm here, this is crazy. The fact that y'all don't see that everything that I be saying is genuine, I'm not fucking around, is crazy to me. This ain't no debate. This is human shit. And y'all want to kick down on poor black people, and that's y'all solution. Y'all fucking horrible. That shit crazy. Y'all, I'm not these niggas. I'm not Adam. I'm not none of these niggas. I'm not fucking up here talking, trying to say something fucking salacious. You know how bad I could talk about these bitch ass niggas every day and couldn't no nigga do nothing except get fucked over by me? You know how many of these rapper niggas I could talk about like a dog and ain't nothing they could do? I could go on any fucking platform in the world and I'm with all that shit them niggas with. And I say whatever about all of them. And everybody know it ain't nothing nobody could do. So when I try to have these intelligent conversations on this motherfucking place, and it's real, and I'm thinking we're connecting at some level of heart, and y'all fucking chastising me, talking shit, because y'all chastising me, talking shit like y'all don't get a simple human thing, or you thinking in ignorance. You say, oh, you know, street urban code. What are you talking about? There's a bunch of poor ass people who life fucked up, whose schools got 70 people in one classroom. They barely, ain't no fucking jobs, ain't nothing right here. Ain't nobody gave them shit. They started from -30. And you want me to figure out some blame for them? No, the blame is on you. If your kid a piece of shit, it's you. It's yes, those one chances where your kid is born a sociopath, but everything else is on you. It's on society the way this shit is. If you let people do this bad, they're gonna do what they gotta do to be okay. It's simple. Stop putting 70 people in the classroom, Pete. You can value education. How the fuck you gonna get education when this lady gotta teach 70 people? How, Pete? How? How could you value education? How could I have possibly been economically savvy? How? I didn't even know fucking economics. How? I didn't grow up with a bunch of money. My mom was in prison when I was 13. She went to the feds trying to get some money.
That's my whole point. This is again, it morphs into somehow this assessment of personal blame. That's not at all what I'm saying. What I'm ultimately saying is the most impactful legacy of slavery and Jim Crow is a lot of the paradigms that it established. That's what I'm saying.
And you know what hasn't happened? There has been no adjustments to fix it. There's been bare minimum. And then the things that have happened have been inclusive to anybody and everybody. Right? So they do the affirmative action, but it's for everybody. Anybody can get it. Everybody except American white men. Unless they gay, because they can get it. Same with DEI. Same shit. If you don't make a true effort to fucking be accountable, if you don't fucking do the right things, then guess what? It's not going to fix, and you cannot fix it yourself. Shout out to Sidney Fairfield. If you slow down, you're telling us the pitfalls at SU. No, what I'm telling you, the pitfalls are you. I'm telling you the pitfalls of you, of Pete, of everybody else who's doing well in this country, who came in situations they were doing well to judge poor people.
I'm not judging poor
That's
people.
Not Pete.
That's not what I'm saying.
Not you, Pete.
You know what I'm saying. Not you, not Pete, Peter. Pete.
Huh?
I know.
I got you. The broader Pete.
Yeah, not cool Pete. Pete's.
Gotcha.
Hear me. So again, I'm saying
SUC though.
Who?
She says SUC at the end. Pitfalls of
street
SUC?
urban culture. I'm not telling you the pitfalls of street urban culture. I'm telling you the pitfalls.
I'm a Houston rap fan. I'm like, what the screwed up click got to do with this shit?
Screwed up click is in here. Screwed up click had pitfall. DJ Screw.
Screw slowed it down, but I mean, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it can't be that bad. No. So what I'm saying is, I'm not telling you, Sydney, the pitfalls to street urban culture. I'm telling you the pitfalls to when humanity is a piece of shit that don't want to do right. And you keep acting like, well, y'all just figure it out.
Well, you bootstraps
figure it out. No.
In general, like the paper I was going to write has to do with the fact that the conditions, because you barricade people out of the economy, you now reassess their values minus economic outcome as a value, right?
Sure.
So you look at, say, like, again, and I'm not Jewish, but when I'm if I'm grading social cultural paradigms,
Sure.
they're like the gold standard. They're very long-term, low-risk, outcome-oriented, to the point that it's part of their religion to circumcise, because I think back in the day that started because there was like infections and stuff in the early cleaning type of environment several thousand years ago.
Sure.
So when you take that component out and you don't have economic outcomes and various like self-driven outcomes as part of your social cultural paradigm, and then that becomes a personal identity and a matter that grows through generations, now you find yourself in an environment where you do have that, but the culture has been created without it. So therefore there's a collision in priorities and in outcomes that was, from its advent of that time. That's largely the point I'm getting at.
Facts, I'm get you. So let's talk about, since you talked about the gold standard, let's talk about the gold standard. Because the gold standard was pretty much us in the teens, 20s, 30s, and 40s. What happened in 1952 was West Germany paid $845 million to Israel and claims conference over 12 years. Hardship fund. In 2023, Germany agreed to extend the hardship fund through 2027. The fund provides one-time payments to eligible Holocaust survivors. Restitution of looted objects. Germany has returned thousands of looted art objects, books, and other items to survivors, their heirs. Compensation for stolen property. Germany has compensated former owners and heirs for property stolen during the Holocaust. Contribution to survivor funds. Germany has contributed to funds for survivors and their pensions. That's just what Germany did. So the gold standard was helped by society.
Yeah, but they were wealthy before that.
No, a few of them were worthy before that. A few of them.
As a group, they were wealthier than the average.
A few of them were wealthy before that. Just like a few of us are wealthy before this. A few of us are wealthy before this. But their community got themselves out of this thing that actually was made for them, the ghetto. That was a term for them, kind of slur, right? A slur, right? They got themselves out of the ghetto because of that.
I don't think that was even a slur. I just thought that was what they called the physical establishment.
The area.
Yeah. So again, maybe if people was like, hey, here, that would happen for us. Because we do got some rich brothers, extremely rich brothers. It's just as a community, everybody not rich. We don't have it. So again, we keep looking like there's nobody who did this on their own. There's nobody who did this on their own. You cannot do this on your own. This is what I love about the streets that I do not like about mainstream America. Accountability. The streets force you to be accountability. The streets force you to be accountable. The streets, they force you. If you say some shit, you know what? You look at a Karen. You know what a Karen is, right? Karen is not a Peter. Karen's a Karen. A Karen will call you a bitch and not your name and expect you not to do nothing. Because she like, I shouldn't have to be accountable for the things coming out of my mouth. Pete, if I take you to 117, we go to the PJs, you call somebody a bitch, Pete, you know what's going to happen. We finna be fighting like a motherfucker with these motherfuckers.
Yes.
I will not trade my existence for a mainstream existence ever, because my existence created me to respect men and be accountable and be a man. I'm not even blaming people now. We just in the conversation where people want me to condemn a way that people was getting by when really they just own their own. When they have been damaged for years and 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 years. Right now, you got to go to even if you go to a native ghetto, it's on a plantation where everybody gets a check.
The plantations.
Yes.
And they have the lowest outcome metrics of anybody in the U.S.
Probably better than ours.
No, they're actually lower. They are the lowest. They're just such a small percentage that no one talks about it.
So again, It's just another thing. Shout out to Sydney. She says, sincere question number 3. How did the streets hold you accountable for slanging your pregnant lady, irrespective to her internal struggles? No, that's not the thing, right? So now my life, right, spiritually has been compromised. Well, it was a long time. So when I first made money, I was depressed. One thing that y'all didn't realize about me in 2005, 6, 7, 8, I was depressed from that existence because I didn't know. I didn't realize it until I figured it out. So the street didn't hold me accountable. I held myself accountable. You got to hold yourself.
Not really going. You know what I'm saying? Because when you gotta do what you gotta do to survive, though, you ain't what accountability you gonna hold yourself to. You gotta do what you gotta do to survive.
Yeah, but
whether you out there,
even in
when
that,
you're on the block and you hustling, that's what it is.
But even in that, I didn't even know that she wasn't making a choice. How could you ignorant? So people can teach you. Some people can say, hey, you know what? Somebody could teach you about addiction. I wasn't ever taught about addiction.
Yeah.
I was never. I thought people came and made quality decisions based off of the things that they want. I thought people, and I prided myself in having the highest quality version of it, something that wasn't compromised to any degree. So I thought everybody was making a choice, no different than going to McDonald's.
Mm-hmm.
But again, once I understood addiction, now here is the time to be accountable.
I get you.
So shout out to City. She said, but is there something in the streets for collective accountability? Yes. Glass is saying to all his homeboys that listen, man, never sell. These people don't have control of themselves, right? They don't have control. So glasses is the change I want to see in information when it comes to addiction. A lot of the people that hustle are addicted to different things. Everybody is not
addicted to getting money.
And they be addicted to weed, addicted to liquor. People dealing, you got to realize people in these circumstances are dealing with this. Very few are like me where they dealing with it sober. And it's people who did way more shit than me. It's people that did way more shit than me. You feel me? So it's different. And they trying to cope with it. So they doing drugs. They hustling. They doing drugs too. They smoking weed. They getting high. They popping pills. They drinking every night trying to run away from life.
That shit ain't no different between working at McDonald's and serving a Big Mac to a fat person, man. You know what I'm saying? They coming to get this.
Low key.
You know what I mean?
Low
That's
key.
it right there, man.
So when you saying that the collective is glasses saying that, hey, you know what? Hey, bro, y'all need to understand addiction. This lady can't make a conscious choice. I didn't know. Nobody said that to me. And how could a bunch of other niggas who addicted to shit say that to me? My older homie probably wouldn't have sold to nobody, but we never had that conversation. I never asked him, hey, why you didn't sell that to that lady? I never asked him that. He just was like, get up out of here. I didn't pay attention to why. I wasn't present for the thought. I wasn't present for the thought. But again, I realized it. And then now God started to hold me accountable spiritually to know better. And I started passing the information to my homeboys. I regret a lot of stuff. I sold drugs to my homeboys' parents. But again, you don't know. And when I knew, I did better. Everybody does the same thing in the hood, unless they are a part of the same issue that they're dealing with. Some of these people are just as addicted as a dope dealer, not as a dope fiend, not even just to getting money, but to being on drugs.
You could be addicted to the hustle too, man. You know
I'm saying for sure, but I'm saying also homies be addicted to.
Yeah. That's a fact. That's a fact.
Like you not making very few people make it out this thing without losing some of their soul. Like I'm lucky to get out of this life with my soul. Like I came out this motherfucker with my whole soul, and it was fractured before I got out. No, I didn't know not to serve my friends' parents. I thought that's like me at a store and I was selling them fucking soda. No, I didn't know that. I didn't look at it like that. I thought it was people just buying drugs just because that's what they want to do. They want to have fun and get high. I never got high, so I don't know what getting high is. I know how to sell what gets you high. But when I learned, I did better. And that's why I say I regretted it. That's why I speak on it. Hell no, I didn't know. You don't know. Y'all keep not. This is what I was just saying to Pete. Where do you learn this shit at? Where you think you learn this shit at? Who tells you this? Who tells you this? Who's the person to say, hey, this is what you know, hey, don't sell to your friends' parents? Who tells you that? I mean, who's supposed to tell you this? Who's supposed to, how could you learn about finances? How is financial planning even a thing? You don't even have finances in the community. How? How do you know that? No, you can't tell yourself that, L. How? You don't know. How? You don't know. So again, that's the thing. This ain't that type of stream. I'm not that type of podcaster. There is no conscience. Your conscience, and this is my point, Mike. It's like, y'all got to understand what conscience is. Of course, you could need people to teach you morality. What do you mean? Morality is all subjective.
That's why they go to Bible study.
Huh?
That's why people go to
morality
Bible study.
is all subjective. So how could you not need people to teach you morality? That's crazy. You know, there are whole communities in this world that the whole goal is to just impregnate their sister. That's how they live. I was watching it on TV the other day. They had a whole place where they just impregnated the sisters. That's their thing. They just sleep with family members and they just offsprings. That's the standard of life. So how is that morally wrong?
Yeah, I remember the first time I went to Magic, the fashion convention thing in Vegas. I went through sourcing, which is basically just a lot of representatives from third world sweatshops, just to be frank. And I didn't know dick about Bangladesh, but one of the guys there owned a place in Bangladesh and said he can get anything done for like the cheapest shit in the world. It's got 250 million people, and it's like an emerging economy. I'm like, oh, Bangladesh, I never gave it a second thought. So I go start looking at Bangladesh. All they do out there is rape. Everything I found in Bangladesh had to do with rape. I never seen it like in my life. Their YouTubes used to be up on, or YouTube used to be up on there. I don't know if they're even still there. It's 12 years ago, where they just had like 5 guys like sitting on a wall in the city. Like, what's your opinion on rape? Oh, we do it from time to time. You know, if someone walks by. I'm like, what? If someone walks by, that was like their standard. So again,
exactly. It goes, but that was the time. That was a normal thing for most humans. But your conscience, even to say you're conscious, it's not something naturally you have. If you grow up in a society where people killing each other and that's standard, you'll be killing each other.
If you're a human raised by wolves, you will eventually think you're a wolf, though, too. You know what I'm saying? That's how this shit go, though.
You got to stop believing in some of these innate things. It's not as innate as you think. He says, so you believe in good and evil. You know what's funny, Mike? I'm going to tell you one last story, then we can get up out of here because we've been here too goddamn long. My perspective of Satan is really unique, right? And I'm going to tell you how I see it. This is based off of me reading the Bible and years of spirituality and dealing with it. I look at the relationship with God, Satan, and Jesus as a father and sons. Father and sons, right? Like Satan is God's oldest son, the angels, right? That's his first set of siblings, right? Outside of man, it's his first set of siblings, right? That he poured into. And then you have Jesus, right? That's the next set of siblings, right? Satan seemed like he was so envious of Jesus' relationship with God. He was so envious of it that he spends his whole time trying to prove to God, why do you favor humanity instead of angels? I'm going to spend the rest of my existence showing you that they ain't shit. That's how Satan lives the existence. I'm going to spend the rest of my life showing you humanity ain't shit. So when you ask me, how do I feel about good, evil? Imagine you seeing that. Imagine that's how you see the world. So when you asking me what's good and evil, no, I don't. We probably won't have the same idea. Shout out to Sean Caesar. So shootouts in the streets is acceptable, but serving your man's parents dope is where you draw the line. Yes. Because if I'm shooting at somebody that got a bullet coming, that don't got nothing to do with nothing. I did it because he deserves it and he needed to happen to him. And he's thinking the same thing. But selling somebody who can't control their addiction, a product, and they're somebody that I love's parents, which means innately I should love them, that's where I draw the line. Yeah, that's where I draw the line. Shout out to Lex. But I sold to someone's parent, not my people's.
Well,
it wasn't my homie parent, but it was somebody, mom and dad.
I didn't know what it was.
Oh man. If it's about what people deserve, do the neighbors deserve to be on the block with shootings? What do you say when the police do the same thing? Do you deserve to be on the block with shootings? What if somebody broke into their house? Do they deserve to be in the block with shooting? Do they deserve to be on the block with shooting? Somebody run in their backyard and try to break in their house and they shoot? Do they deserve it? What are you talking about? What's happening? Shootings are going to happen. It happens. Some neighborhoods it don't.
Take your ass in the house. You know when that shit about to head off? You been around here long enough?
No, I've never tasted alcohol. Never. That's the thing. All right, I'm gonna check it out, Squiz. All right, look, we gonna bust out, man. We've been
gonna get them on some Dawn one day. Don't get them a shot of Dawn one day, man. One shot of Dawn. One shot.
Check this out. No Sinners Live, the lunch hour, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at noon Pacific Standard Time, right here on Digital Soapbox. Click the thumbs up button before you skip town, man. If you on Twitter, retweet it. Feel me? If you on Facebook, share the link, thumbs up, and all that good stuff. We do this to support the No Sinners podcast. Me and Pete just dropped a fire episode, conversations about Mexicans using the N-word. It's in the link below in the descriptions. Listen to it. Apple Podcasts, iHeart Podcasts, or anywhere you get your podcast. I said happy birthday before you came, Nay. I'm going to say happy birthday again. Friday.
Yeah, happy birthday, Nay. Happy birthday,
Tell me happy birthday. Again.
What we doing?
It was crazy. It's Friday. Saturday, me and Pete doing a parade in Orange County, in Pete's hometown.
Wait,
well, it's not his hometown.
That?
Huh?
What time is that?
10 in the morning.
All right.
You gonna be up, Pete?
Yeah.
We know it's tomorrow. We were saying that, Nate. We were saying that before you got here. So again, click the link below. Listen to the latest podcast. Listen to the latest one. Conversations about Mexicans using the N-word. I am not saying you should let your Mexican friends use the N-word, but I'm saying I explained to the homie Josh from Detroit why mines do. It's a really great
Puerto
podcast.
Ricans over here, dude.
Listen to it. We go pick up on it too. We gonna do an extra. I need you on it, chap. Listen to it on Apple Podcasts or iHeart Podcasts. It's called the No Sinners Podcast. It's executive produced by Charlemagne the God, the Black Effect Network, the Black Effect Podcast Network, and iHeart. Much love to y'all. We out of here.
Where we going?